All right, the Power Hour returns. Actually, tonight the Power Hour is rising along with Billy Whack because the Super Wrestlers are rising. It is episode 6 of the trilogy you know in wrestling that is the greatest one out there today. And C Red and I are lucky enough to have for the sixth time. There have been 6 shows. This is Billy's sixth. Sometimes the generosity of human beings never ceases to amaze. Come on this stupid ass podcast at 6 times, but we love him. We're glad he's here. We'll always open the door for him. And Billy Whack, welcome to the show yet again, you crazy bastard.
Thanks for having me. It just works out that I always end up a free Tuesday right before the show. So it works out. I get to do this every time. It's
And
weird though that
we
Billy
are
Black rising,
he's
rising,
rising.
rising.
So I
Right.
messaged him a few weeks ago and I said, "Hey, are you burned out on this shit or do you want to do it again?" And he took the good Samaritan, good spirit. Well, it's kind of like tradition at this point.
Tradition.
So we appreciate the sentiment and not the because so many people when they get tired of something and they've done it repetitively, they give you that professional sweet brush off. We're like, yeah, you know what? I got a lot going on this week, so maybe next time. But you're a champ, Billy Whack, and that's why we love you. That's why you are hallowed where we are.
Well, thanks. I mean, now I feel it's like superstition. Like I can't not do one of these, otherwise the show will go to hell or something. Because all the
Oh,
shows are great ever since I've been doing these.
I feel like hell is a destination that the super wrestlers will go at some point, much like Bill and Ted.
It's very possible. And who knows? It could even be this Sunday at the Concord Music Hall.
So lots of fun stuff. I've been watching, the website and all the things that have been happening in Super Wrestlers Land, and I got to tell you, last week on the show we had the tag team, the final level were our guests, and that's Marshe Rocket and Chris Logan.
Mhm.
And when Chris Logan heard that you were on the show this week, he's like, "Oh man, you got to send me the meeting information. I want to come on and say hi." So I don't know if it's going to happen, but maybe at some point tonight, the man with the glove and the split personality from hell, and perhaps a very angry family member owning another glove, might show up on this podcast to bother you.
Wow. I mean, hey, that's fine. It'd be great to actually hear from him and find out what's going on with him.
He said some incredibly nice things about you. So if you're not a frequenter of the content of the Power Hour, there was a moment where they all got really. It was a testament to your fortitude and goodness in this business. So congratulations to you for having a sterling reputation.
Thanks. Thank you. And thank you to everybody that has something nice to say about me.
So Super Wrestlers, the last show, kind of changed the game and things got crazy and there were fans are leaping out of the way as the super wrestlers can't be contained by four walls, and suddenly I find that perhaps the most popular super wrestler has become the slow motion chef, and I'm still scratching my head as to how that's possible.
I mean, I think people like the song, and who doesn't love a good, if somebody can cook, come on down. And then every time he wrestles, and almost immediately afterwards, here come the burgers. Burgers come out. So if Chef Filet Mignon is going to be there, there will be Chef Filet Mignon burgers.
And I saw them as they were being given out, and they looked certainly wonderful. The vibe at the Concord Music Hall. Uh, I've been there 5 times. Sunday is six. Uh, it's one of those must see situations because the things that happen are so random and so crazy and so unexpected. And I think in wrestling today, and I think we probably talked about this before, everybody knows what's going to happen. You know who's going to end up showing up on a brand. You know who's going to. It seems like everything is being telegraphed and passed around social media. Like a case of herpes. Whereas at the super wrestlers, some of what's going to happen, but there's a lot that you don't know. That's a valuable thing, right?
Definitely. I mean, the only thing that you're guaranteed, and I mean, even that is you're almost guaranteed the matches that we advertise, but we're not so much entirely advertising matches as we are the environment.
Yeah.
So if we say like this match is happening, it's we're letting you know this might happen, but still just come, because who knows what could happen in the realm of what we were advertising. You know what I mean? Like, again,
Are
like,
subject to change.
yes, always subject to change on purpose.
But
Maybe.
I think that's what makes super wrestlers so awesome. We can, there was a time, and all three of us are old enough to remember, that if you didn't have a dirt sheet, like an actual piece of paper with uh what's happening, you know, we didn't even know about the indies. So what was happening in New Japan and
Yeah.
World Class, like if you didn't know, like then you didn't know. Now, unfortunately, we live in the age of, and if anybody gets offended, I'm sorry, but the smart mark, where everybody takes this little device and, oh, yeah, this person is going to do this and that person is going to do that. Oh,
I mean, it's so
you
weird.
can't say that at Super Wrestlers because you have no freaking idea
Yeah.
who's going to show up, what's going to happen, who's going to do what. And it makes a more enjoyable event. I don't go to a movie if I already know the fucking ending.
Right. So why do people do that with like wrestling? You know, the internet. I still remember to this day the first wrestling spoiler I ever saw. I ever dial up internet. Holy crap! Sid is gonna be in the corner of Shawn Michaels, like to date the first internet spoiler. I mean, I was getting like paper dirt sheets before that, but that was the first thing I heard, was that Sid was going to be in the corner of Shawn Michaels, and so that was like what, 96,
Seven,
maybe.
something like that. Yeah.
But ever since then, it was like, oh, I wonder if I can find out what's going to happen. I wonder if I can find out. And then it that overtook like actually being like a casual fan, and now you're like in the business. Like, I don't know, the internet kind of ruined things, you know?
It did. It did.
Like,
And I
from the
mean,
way we used to watch it.
well, not only from the way we used to watch it, but again, we've come from the same area, but we were able to protect our stuff. You know, we didn't let the card, like I know when I promoted, I did not let anybody outside of the three other guys that I was on the board with. Nobody knew nothing till people got to the building.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tell anybody on the phone, hey, yeah, you're going over on this guy. This is how you go. No, nobody
Well,
finds
especially then,
anything out.
because then guys get it in their head, and it's especially back then, because then guys would be pissed all week and then drive into the building. They're putting him over. Like, it gets in their head. The best way to do it is day of, at when the guys are coming in. However, uh, Super Wrestlers has a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving pieces, so we do have to inform the people a little bit ahead of time what might be happening.
But I mean, again, I've never come to one of the Super Wrestler shows and just I know what's gonna happen. Like I've never had that thought in my head where I'm like, I know this is like I've never sat there and been like, see, Steve, I told you that can't come out my mouth because the story, like just when that's what I love about Super Wrestlers. It's that thing. Just when you think you know the answer, they change the question. And it's like, shit,
We had a
I
death.
didn't
There was a
know.
death at Super Wrestlers. Somebody
Exactly.
died, and I believed that shit. We had a death. We had an assassination attempt at CSW, and me on commentary pissed everybody off because I actually said this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in wrestling in 12 years.
Wow.
And that didn't go over well with the promoters or my brand or anything. But I'm sitting there because they don't tell you.
Yeah.
They want the raw reaction on commentary, and they pay me to lose my shit. I guess at least that's what I've been told. So they don't tell me purposefully. So when shit happens, I just have to react to it. So when they shot the general manager, like the way Trump got shot, and it was the reenactment of Trump, I am just like, what am I watching here right now?
Did they do it better than the Trump shooting?
It was pretty close. I thought the blood was more believable at CSW than it was on Trump, actually. But I digress.
Yeah.
It's they want the raw reaction, but
Mhm.
that was my raw reaction to it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So IWTV doesn't like
Wait,
that.
how did they? How did they? Wait, now I'm like, now I'm thinking about it. How did this play out? How did they do this? How did they?
So TJ,
No, they shot him. Like, was there a crack
well,
over the?
TJ Steele is the general manager. Threw me out of my job and is treating it like he's President Trump in a certain way. He runs
Okay.
a faction called the Brass. So there was a pedestal podium. He's having an address. He's addressing like the politician. And the Brass are in the ring and he's disbanding the Brass. He's unhappy with them. His power has gone to his head, et
Oh,
cetera, et
all right.
cetera. Then all of a sudden you hear, and everybody's like this, and he's holding his ear, and his guys are flanking him like he got shot, and then all of a sudden he takes his hand off his ear, and there's blood everywhere, and he says win the scramble, and then they cart him away. And Stan Payne and Big Business Levi, who are my commentary guys there, are losing their shit, and they're doing a great job with losing their shit. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like not having it. So if you have IWTV and you want to see it, you want to talk about real raw reactions? I was just like, are you kidding?
What company was this?
This is CSW, Chicago Style Wrestling.
Really? They did this? Okay.
But I mean,
Where
it
did
was,
the bullet go? Where did the bullet end up? Was it in the
I
wall?
don't know. Nobody's found the bullet
Oh
and
my God.
nobody's found my pride.
We need to get
So
a forensics tag team out
I,
there.
I
Checking
really
it out.
thought our security force would have gotten more involved in the situation.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's good theater. And it was, the fans got a kick out of it. People have been
Okay.
talking.
Look, if the fans liked it,
Oh
the
no, the
fans.
fans ate the shit up. It was great. It was just me going, this can't be happening.
Okay, I didn't know how it played
No,
out.
I was the asshole. I mean, that's why, that's how I'm going to get unemployed in this business because I'm starting to become the, hey, you kids get off my lawn. For 11 years, I'm like, I'll do what you want. And now going into year 12 and I'm like, are you fucking kidding? So I've kind of become that bitter old commentary man. I was never good to begin with. Now it's just getting ornery and it's,
uh,
someone's going to shoot old Yeller at some point.
I don't know, Steve. I think you are the hardest working guy in Chicago independent wrestling right now.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but I appreciate the
I
kind
don't know
words.
how you keep the face going. Like I would have lost my shit a long time ago. Like all these companies.
I am a stupid, stupid man. That much has been proven. But listen, I'll be honest with you. A lot of the way I do my shtick, I was at a lot of Blitz shows, and like I said, my first independent wrestling experience was LWF. So my first experience with general manager, guy running the show, commentator man was you. So a lot of what I do is a sad, pathetic attempt to be like Billy Whack.
Look, I'm the angry get off my lawn guy, but so you are the sunshine version of me, still out there doing it,
Dude,
holding
the
it
sun
down.
is the sun is setting quickly. I'm just going to
I'm
say
I'm
that.
I'm telling you now, the day he wears a shiny jacket with shiny pants,
Oh, I can't.
I
I couldn't
am
pull.
fucking
I'd
done.
look like the Titanic. They'd think
I'm
my head was
done.
like a fucking smokestack. It wouldn't go
But
well.
that's what I love about Billy Wack because Billy will wear whatever the hell he wants
That
to.
Mario suit is still the
And
greatest suit I've ever seen.
but the thing is, like you laugh at a minute, like you're like, oh, that shit's hilarious. That's good. And then he starts talking and you forget, like you hang on your every word. Like that's the way you capture the audience. Like people forget. Like I'm gonna be honest, you probably could come out there butt naked and
I don't know about
and
the truth.
and
Wow.
people
Super Wrestlers After Dark.
and people would stop.
Yes,
Like
they
people,
would. There would be some
They'd be
no,
stopping.
like
I'm being
911.
dead
I need
serious. Like
one, man.
once he starts talking about all the shit that is going on in this universe, like people forget. Like because they're so mesmerized, like, oh fuck. And you have to pay. I've learned one thing about Billy Wayne. Everything he says is intentional. He never says anything unintentional.
I
So
mean,
you have to pay attention to what he's saying.
get a few PBRs in me, and who knows what could happen. But thanks, Red. I appreciate that. For the most part, I try to stay on point.
I still like, don't suspend disbelief. Believe the shit out of this. That's still the greatest thing I've ever heard in the ring.
We're gonna close that door. Boom. We're in the room for the next 2 hours. Let us do to you what you want us to do to you for 2 hours.
That is it.
Have
And
you ever noticed nobody ever takes a bathroom break during your show?
I know.
Like during a match. Like, because I
No.
know how you set it up.
Yeah.
Nobody leaves their
Well,
seat.
yeah. Again,
Even the
we
people
do
standing, like nobody's at the bar.
right.
Everybody is focused. And that's how you can tell that you have the crowd. Like you've been to other shows, Billy of the Whack, and you've seen, you know, it's the semi-main. Okay, well, I'm going to get a drink. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm going outside to smoke. Like that's how people are like, okay. Nobody's every show, at least I've been to, and it's only been three, but people don't move. And that's a testament to what Super Wrestlers has brung to the scene. Something that people are actually paying attention to. And your crowds keep getting bigger and big. Like in a minute, we're gonna be on the rafters,
Right.
and we're gonna be above the ring, like looking down, like, oh, this is great. Steve, you bought tickets here? Great. Thanks a lot, asshole.
we're just hanging out upstairs. That's good. I think the best compliment I can give you is something that I overheard a few shows ago. At one of the Super Wrestler shows recently, AEW superstar Sky Blue was in attendance along with Uncle Doug there, of course, to see the Punk Rock Prince. And I was talking with her, and she wasn't she couldn't understand, she couldn't believe what she was seeing. And the Punk Rock Prince comes up and she says, dude, this shit is so sick. If you're popping an AEW superstar to what you're doing, I mean, I have to believe that's a testament to how good the product is.
Yeah, and I'm glad, and again, we're trying to keep it different. So there's something for everybody, even Sky Blue. I'm glad Sky Blue liked it.
Yeah, you have guest stars at the shows from time to time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I've seen, it's like a history when you go there, because there are people that from the ghosts of wrestling past are starting to filter their way in. And you see one guy here and a girl there, and you're like, I remember you when. And C Red, was basically king shit. And everybody was all about C Red. C Red got to go in the back. C Red, that's the privilege of being a soul toucher right there. Us mortal humans, we just sit in our seat and hope for the best. C Red has that full VIP shit going on.
Stop it. Stop it. That was helping a friend out. That's all it was.
You certainly kept the lady in check, which was very good. Joining us now on the program, of course, is the real deal Rion Skills. Hello, Rion. And of course, Russian Blue has arrived. So now we are whole.
Russian Blue? What have I missed?
Russian Blue, Cactus Rack.
Oh, okay.
Playoffs are coming up.
Okay.
Playoffs are coming up.
I see.
She has many identities.
I do. I'll be Cactus Rack next month.
That's right. That's as we get closer to Halloween. So Rion puts up an interesting picture. And I think this was one of the things about the last show that left everybody with the what the fuck face. Siphon. We don't know who he is. We don't know what he is. All we know is he has it out for Shogun, and apparently Shogun's power glove is a match set, and this guy's got the other one. So are they brothers? Do we have another set of brothers?
I don't think they're brothers. From what I've heard, there is this thing called Project Siphon, and we know the guy who calls himself Siphon. So it's sort of a thing, But all we know is that he's calling himself Siphon. And like he said, he is here to get the rest of his powers back from Shogun. The accident that gave Shogun his powers, that Shogun's been trying to chase down and figure out what happened, now he's starting to get answers. And it's apparently this guy who calls himself Siphon. And Shogun, Shogun's been on the fence. He can't decide what to do with his powers. Should he keep them? Are they problematic? Can he help people with them? He's finally in the mindset where I think he wants to keep them. And then here comes this guy who's like, all this is mine. I would like this back. So Shogun gives him the pronounced middle finger, and that did not sit well with Siphon, who I would assume understands the powers, knows what the powers are for, has more control of the powers, has more power than Shogun. So I think Shogun will be at a deficit in the eventuality that they ever square off.
I've been watching this and thinking about this for the last couple of months as we have gone from episode 5 to now episode 6. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, this has the potential and the possibility to swerve into some reverse Darth Vader shit. Because I'm looking at Shogun and I'm looking at Siphon, and wouldn't it be a very super wrestlery moment if Siphon turned to Shogun at one point and said, "No, Shogun, I am your son."
I'm your son.
That would be some reverse Darth Vader shit, is what I'm talking about.
In honor of James Earl Jones.
Yeah, poor James Earl Jones.
Poor James Earl Jones.
What would Darth Vader be if they left David Prowse with the English accent?
He'd be British and
scared
weird.
The shit out of me as a kid, I'll tell you that.
We might not even be sitting here right now if Dave Prowse voiced Darth Vader. Star Wars wouldn't have been what it was. No Darth Vader. Nobody would have given that much of a shit. No Star Wars, no inspiration.
And we're all a little less cool and have a little less fun.
Right.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, good luck tonight. Kick ass and take names. All right. I have a son going to try out for volleyball, and it's a big deal here. I'm breaking the fourth wall. It's kind of Deadpooling the shit, if you will. I want to get back real quick. We were talking about spoilers, and while you guys were going on about the spoilers and the dirt sheets, I developed a question in my mind that I wanted to ask, and I'll ask the whole panel because I think we all have experienced a spoiler that has really pissed us off. Now, I don't care if it's wrestling, film, music, television, your personal life. What's the worst spoiler you have ever experienced that pissed you off to the point where you're like, whoever spoiled it for you, you were very angry at them? Let us start with Billy of the WEC. What's the worst spoiler for you? I know what mine is. I have to believe mine and yours will be congruous, I hope.
Well, no. So the third Batman movie, The Dark Knight, comes back.
Dark Knight Rising?
Dark Knight Rises. Whoa, was it? Dark Knight Rises? Is that really what it was?
Dark Knight Rises.
It ended up not being the greatest movie of all time, but there was so much hype after the Heath Ledger Joker. Like, holy shit, here comes it. Oh my God. And someone had seen an early copy of it. I'm not going to, he is, if he's watching this, he'll know exactly. We've talked about it. But he was pissed off that people would always post spoilers on Facebook. So he went and saw the movie, and he literally came home and went, Batman this, blah, 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 this happens, and blah, 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 Catwoman is this, and blah, blah, like literally, blah, 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 spoiled it. And I was just going through Facebook, and I'm like reading it, and I'm like, oh my God, this isn't like someone saying what they hope happened. This is like, what? Oh shit. And I unfriended him, and we didn't talk for a while, and we ended up talking again. And then he felt so bad, he gave me his HBO Max password so I could watch
War Reparations
years later. Yeah, obviously. But I was so pissed about the Batman spoiler.
That's a good one. How about you, Red? What's the thing what was the worst spoiler for you?
The worst, well, one, your broadcast partner trying to spoil Deadpool and Wolverine, which he made me not look at social media for 2 days. Because once I told people, don't spoil the movie for me, of course, this asshole writes, and I have not looked for it, but I did not want to see it. So I said, fuck you. and I stayed away. And I told him, "Fuck you." But for me, WCW spoiling Mick Foley's
Oh, right.
when he won the belt. And
Oh, that's a
I
good
mean,
one.
I get that, they were trying to, it was the Monday Night Wars, but as a fan, I was having fun flipping back every Monday to both programs.
Well, you
So
got to love the fact that it had the reverse effect because the
Yeah.
minute that they broke that news, everybody stopped watching Nitro and everybody in mass flipped over to Raw.
They got
yeah,
theirs.
but that it to me it was just shitty. It was
Yeah.
like because you got to believe there were some people that were like, oh fuck, no sense in watching it now. I already know Mick Foley's gonna win.
That might have been the pin that got pulled that created the crescendo that killed everything for them. You get a situation like that. They're talking about the end of Raw. We're gonna go watch it, and then they're like, "Oh shit!" And then next week, you don't know what causes something to unravel. Something very simple that you think is a great idea can be the ruination of everything. So you got to be careful.
True.
Russian Blue, Cactus Rack. What do you think? What's your biggest spoiler?
So I'm going back quite a ways for this one, although maybe not quite as far as Red, but I used to work for this little company called Borders. And we did Harry Potter release parties every time a new book came out. And when the last book came out, there was a group of guys that hung around in the cafe in general, but they came to it and they came prepared with flyers. And this was like a kid event, like there were tons of children there. And they came prepared with flyers and they were throwing flyers and screaming the end of the book out to everybody and kind of ruined it. Like, and what did you get out of it? I mean,
Yeah, it's
at the
terrible.
time we didn't know what a piece of shit J.K. Rowling was. So what did you really get out of it? So that I would say was the worst. There's a lot of really unhappy children.
That's a
What did
pretty
you
good
do?
one.
Did you start yelling at him like, "Hey, get the fuck out of here!" Like, what are you doing? Like, what
I
was there
did.
any
I was
repercussions?
I was yelling at them and they did leave, but I was dressed as Nymphadora Tonks and their response to me was, "Oh, look, you're a fairy. Oh, look, you're a fairy." I'm like, "That's it? That's all you came prepared with for your confrontation?" So, yeah, no, they were removed expeditiously, but unfortunately not before ruining quite a lot of children's nights.
You still got that costume?
I could not fit into that costume if my life depended on it, Red.
I'm sorry. I'm down the Harry. It took me a long time, but I'm officially down the Harry Potter rabbit hole now. I'm
Really? That took you a
yeah.
while, huh?
Dude, because I mean I watched movies, but I just watched them as okay. You know, I was going through something when I watched all eight straight through. And it was like, And now, I can admit at 52, now I am finding every fucking thing about Harry Potter. Uh, like the movie can, if the movie was on right now, which I'm sure somewhere it is, I would probably be fucking watching it if I wasn't doing this. And I don't care what part, which book. I'm like, it's football. Like fuck, don't put the Bears against Harry Potter. Harry Potter's gonna win. Sorry, sorry. That's how deep this rabbit hole I'm in.
That's a deep rabbit hole. What about you, Rion? If you're listening, do you have a most heinous spoiler story that you can share with us? Rion might be driving. Okay, so we'll get back to Rion.
I know Rihanna's.
No, it's fine. Okay, give me a. I'll fuck. Okay.
I mean, you're under no
I don't
obligation.
have a story.
Okay.
No, then why ask me?
Well, because I want you to be. I mean, you're part of this thing. I was just sending you
I'm already doing the photos. I'm already a part of the fit. It's fine. Look, I don't have a story because I don't like spoilers. Don't bother.
Oh, Red's got one for you.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, I don't have, I don't have a. Go ahead. What does Red have?
What's the spoiler for Rion, Red?
When Rion and Max did the morning after, and a certain person decided to interject and make all his business their business. And Rion said, "Fuck it, you go ahead then." Rion knows what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm old. I don't know
I
what
don't.
that means.
Do I
Now,
need?
Red,
I don't want to.
enlighten us. Red,
I
give
don't
us
want to
the
put other
specifics.
people's.
You,
Y'all want me to
no,
put people on
we're
blast?
here now, Red.
Okay,
See,
fuck it.
we're here now
I
because,
do
like,
it. Fuck
what
it.
else? I have
So,
no idea
Steve,
what you're talking
remember?
about.
Steve, remember when it was Max and Rion, and
Very
they were
well.
doing the
It's
morning after?
returning. It's coming back.
And remember how one Willie the Bomb decided that fuck it, he wanted to spoil everything, and Rion said, "Fuck it, go ahead,
I
it's
do
on
remember
you."
that.
So I mean, again, that
That
had
was
I don't
great. That was great fucking theater,
no,
though,
that
man.
wasn't great theater because you looked at Rion's face. Rion was fucking pissed. I
Yeah,
don't
but
fucking
that's why it
blame
was
Rion.
such great theater. It was
I
completely
don't blame
unexpected.
fucking Rion for that shit. The simple
And you got
fucking
the
reason.
cheap plug. I knew it was coming. There it is.
So I mean, again, how can you not you couldn't applaud it? You had to fucking hate it because it wasn't about him at the time. It was about Max and Rion. And again, you spoiled it. It's a different type of spoiler, but you still fucking spoiled it. And you spoiled a good thing.
Spoilers are very different in their
Here,
size and shape.
here's the thing. I don't remember what you're talking about.
He was there. That's the best part.
You don't remember. Okay, hey,
That's why I'm like, I get it, but that's why, like, spoilers don't bother me nearly as much as people think. I just, like, okay, like, I wish I had more context other than what you explained, because I don't know what episode that was, but it's fine. Side note, I wasn't even going to do this, but because you decided to bring up Max and Rion, I was like, why not put this thing on there, especially since all three people on this panel, with the exception of Billy Whack, unless he has the time to stop by, are involved in this thing. So why wouldn't I keep plugging it? It involves everyone.
It's not. It's an expensive plug, like a hair extension. It's beautiful.
But why wouldn't I do it if it involves everyone on the panel?
I was just joking around, us joshing.
Josh, man, let me go back to doing the photos. Let me go back to doing.
Billy is squinting at it. He's like,
I'm squinting because I'm like, wait, I'm I'm busted. Hey, I can't see. All right, I can't see. It's a live podcast. You guys are doing a live podcast like at a place? Like,
yeah.
Are we selling tickets
Yes.
to this? What's happening?
No, it's
I don't
free.
think they're tickets.
Okay.
Free.
It's free.
Free 99.
Free 99.
$3.99.
Yes.
Do I have to pay $3.99? I've got to be there.
You
So
do
like,
have to pay
$3.99.
$3.99.
so what happens?
Free.
It's like this, but it's live. And then what? Vic Capri is going to be there. That's what's happening.
Yes.
Yes. Nick is going to be there. It's going to be fun.
There's a special surprise. What's the? Well, it's spoilers. Special surprise, apparently. All right, I'm hooked. I assume you'll be filming it and you'll put it up later, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Rich,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's. No, go ahead, Steve. Go
I
ahead.
just said Richmond. It's in Richmond Park where IPW runs at the American Legion, and it's or I'm sorry, the VFW, and it's a great place to do it. People will be there. It'll be fun.
If it's a VFW place, it sounds like beer will be there.
Yes, there is plenty of spirits to be had for all.
Oh, huh.
Nice whiskey too. They sell some pretty nice whiskey there for a VFW. So it's if you're not doing anything on that particular Sunday, come on out and say hi. It'll be fun.
I don't know. VFWs and American Legions have some of the best secret bars I've ever come across. So don't count them out.
True. Yeah, no, I wouldn't count them out. Just the beer will flow freely. I hope it all works out. It sounds cool. A good, a live podcast. Go for it.
A live pie. Well, that's what the morning after was. It was a kind of a live thing. So it's pretty cool. Real quick, my spoiler didn't even happen to me. It happened to my friend. He and his wife were having dinner with his father-in-law. There was a movie back in 2015 called The Force Awakens. Anybody remember that film? Anybody see it?
Yes, yeah.
There was a pretty significant thing that happened toward the end of that narration, of that story. There was a pretty significant bridge sequence
Yes.
that they did a pretty good job of not letting the cat out of the bag. So my buddy was having dinner with his dad, and he didn't get to see it the Thursday. He and I were going to see it the Friday. So they're having dinner. He's like, "Oh man, you're gonna really like The Force Awakens," except the part where,
Oh,
can you imagine that?
Wow.
That
See,
is
I in the theater, like I had no, I stayed spoiler free or whatever, and I remember it happening. Oh, come on! Like I yelled, and I'm usually pretty reserved in situations, and I just lost my shit. And then we left, and we're walking out, and everybody's like, "You didn't see that coming?" And I was like, "Fuck no, I actually didn't." They're like, "No, because somebody had to die. Like Ben died. It's like the same. They were Ben Obi-Wan died in Star Wars. They were trying to give me the whole, and I was like, I did not see that coming.
no.
So who died?
Uh,
You got to see the film. Go see the film.
oh, you haven't seen The Force Awakens?
I have not.
Oh, Jesus. Well,
I'm not going to be that guy.
I don't even think she'd care if you were like, this guy gets killed.
I mean,
I may not even know who you're talking about.
That was my childhood dying.
You're not a Star Wars person.
You know him.
I do. Okay.
All I can say is I saw the film with my wife and my two sons, and after it was over, I had to sit in the theater to compose myself. We get in the car to go home, and I don't know if I was having that mental midlife crisis breakdown moment, and that death affected me deeper than I wept the whole way home. My wife laughed at me. Why are you crying? It's a film. Not a film.
So like when Dobby dies in Harry Potter.
I still can't watch Force Awakens with that sequence without getting emotional because it rips. It's too much reality in something that I hold so dearly from my childhood. So that is the fucking worst spoiler. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to my friend. I'm like, fuck that dude.
Yeah. I mean,
and he still lets me work on his car.
It's not just a character in a movie. It's a character in a franchise that is like generations, like 40 years of Star Wars. And so it's more than just like a movie. If you watch any movie, it's like not even an intellectual property, just like a standalone movie. And by the end of it, something sad happens and you cry. Like, remember years back, everybody, The Notebook. Oh, remember The Notebook? Like, oh, they has Alzheimer's and yada, yada, yada. If you can cry after 2 hours, you can certainly cry after 40 years seeing like one of the main characters get killed. And the way it happened, Han Solo dies and Kylo Ren, his son, kills him. Rah! It's not a spoiler. It's like it's almost like been a decade. It's a decade almost. Anyway, I digress. Like, holy shit, this sucks. I'm never watching this again. And screw you, Billy Wack, for then you weren't a Star Wars fan anyway. So
right. If you haven't seen it after 10 years, you probably
gonna be fine.
So speaking of spoilers,
Red never saw it. Oh shit.
I want to know about spoilers for Sunday.
Red, Billy doesn't do spoilers here.
I know.
I don't do spoilers, but
look, here's the thing.
But I do loose-lipped hints.
We can try. We can try. We always try.
That's fair. We do.
So, what can you tell us or not tell us about this Sunday?
I can tell you one of the usual things that I think I say for all of them, and that is a new super wrestler will be debuting.
Okay.
Now, that could mean literally anything. That could be anything. I'll say this. It's not Siphon who is debuting. It's someone else. A new character that you've never even heard of.
Is it Business Puppy with fangs?
No.
Damn.
Nobody knows where Business Puppy has been gone. I mean, we're starting to give up hope on Business Puppy.
So am I. I mean, but Destructo knows where Business
bastard.
I know.
That bastard.
I know.
I don't like him, and I don't like. I find him and Madam Shatter to be so utterly unappealing in that universe. They make me angry at every time she comes by me and screams. It's like chalk nails on a chalkboard, and I want to slap her. But that's completely inappropriate. I'm sure I'm violating some sort of planetary law from wherever they're from. Don't strike the bounty hunters.
I mean, speaking of planetary law, we obviously have some kind of what do you call it when you can't extradite somebody? They have oh yeah, right, a diplomatic immunity.
Diplomatic immunity.
Obviously, with Cross Turnia, I mean, if Rydal murders his brother, you would think like police, like actual Earth police, would be there. However, there is some kind of strange diplomacy between the planets, and Rydal has not seen American Earth justice. In fact, quite the opposite. He is the sole heir that we know of to Ryor, the brother that he killed. And as such, he has claimed the body and plans to have a Cross-Turnian cremation ceremony this Sunday.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He wants to burn his brother's body in front of people at the Concord Music Hall. Now, I don't know where he's kept it. He's kept it on ice for 3 months or whatever. So I don't know.
Right,
but
isn't that like a health code violation?
I don't know. Perhaps the physiology of Cross-Turnians are slightly different, so maybe they don't rot or something. I don't know. I mean, yes.
I mean, not even just that, but like the burning. Yeah. Isn't that a health code violation?
Well, you have to understand the Concord Music Hall is a highly sophisticated venue with all the proper vents and fans.
And a crematorium, like a crematorium in there somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, we've had Glar there. We've had all kinds of acts there that have done all kinds of unspeakable things on stage. So, burning a dead body, it's just
the least of your worries.
Chicago, it's a Tuesday night.
Yeah. But that's gonna happen. Siphon is debuting. There's gonna be a new super wrestler. Speaking of pubic moose, we haven't seen pubic moose. Like we're talking about business puppy. Pubic Moose hasn't been returning our phone calls. I don't know where Pubic Moose is. I don't know if Pubic Moose will be there Sunday because he just hasn't gotten back to us.
Oh, that's not good. Alarming. I want to see the title defended.
This is alarming. This is alarming news. I mean, it's only been a couple of days we've been trying to get a hold of him, but he has not been returning our calls. Pubic Moose, if you're out there, please get a hold of me.
Poor Pubic Moose.
Yeah.
He's got a screw loose, but we still love him. And there was a graphic earlier about Danger Mask, obviously, is supposed to be there. That is a riddle wrapped in an enigma, that particular wrestler. What is Danger Mask up to this time around?
As far as I know, Danger Mask has yet to make his full intentions known. However, he has said he's going to make his full intentions known to myself or CM Venom. He's there for the prize, just like everybody else. But he is squaring off against the Porch Pirate, who pissed him off at the last show by like putting his mask on. Like him and Vlad Blair, they were messing around, all kinds of stuff. But he's pissed. This is almost like a grudge match of sorts. Danger Mask versus the Porch Pirate.
And the Porch Pirate, of course, is not just any porch pirate. He's a porch vampire pirate, a vampirate, if you will.
Right. So he's coming into his own, becoming a vampire. Who knows how many of the weaknesses have like actually taken hold on him. Now, who knows if like a crucifix will like make him fly across the room, or if he's just like, that just kind of makes me sick like everyone else. So who knows, who knows?
Who we haven't seen in a minute is our favorite robotic referee.
Get out of my head.
We haven't seen Nexus. Nexus went out for repairs. Maybe we'll see Nexus Sunday.
I mean, that Rydal and his long, gangly fingers really messed with the internal wiring schematics of our friend Nexus. I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay. I hope we see him soon. Maybe there's some kind of upgrade happened. Again, anything can happen, and Sunday is just...
Where would you even send Nexus? I feel like Radio Shack was the last place that had any kind of capacity to help him.
Well, the weird thing is he like just kind of turned, walked on his own, walked out of the venue, and we were all like, where is he going?
So he knows the guy.
We heard some tires screech, and we're like, where's Nexus? And we haven't seen him since. So apparently he drives as well.
Well, we know the Geek Squad doesn't work on Sunday, so it couldn't have been them picking him up.
Yeah, no.
Strange times indeed.
Strange times.
I have to believe at some point, getting back to Crossturnia and the cremation that may happen Sunday. I have to believe at some point, and we've heard her spoken of a couple of times. I have to believe the Queen has been monitoring the situation and is going to at some point try to stop the madness. I mean, I feel like that's the moral barometer of Crossturnia, and we haven't seen her or whatever the Queen becomes or is. I don't know. I mean, what do you know of the Queen of Crossturnia?
All I know is when we first started this and we first met Ryor, he claimed he was the king of Crossturnia. Then suddenly, somebody comes up, claims he's the younger brother, and is the true king of Crossturnia because Ryor went away. We still want to know details of this, but since these two are brothers and they have mentioned the king, they have mentioned the queen, we can only assume that there are more Crossturnians out there. Whether they've got an eye on the siblings conflict here on Earth, that I don't know. Do they even know what's going on? Are they on Crossturnia wondering where both Ryor and Rydal are? I don't know. But this is obviously, it is constantly unfolding for us each time we do a Super Wrestlers.
You just never know what you're going to get.
You
like
never
a box
know what
of
you're going to
chocolates,
get.
said Forrest Gump.
Yes.
We did meet some more Crossturnians very recently. The general and the giant. These are Crossturnian soldiers that have arrived, and they haven't had a very easy time of it. That's for sure.
They haven't had an easy time. They're backup men to Rydal, who is the current master wrestler, which is our champion, of course. General Luxon, from what I'm piecing together, it seems like when Rydal went on his sabbatical and came to Earth to get the prize, General Luxon was just like the corrupt general, making the armies do bad things, and Callus is like the Beast Man type guy, like the bodyguard of General Luxon. So those guys have been hanging out with Rydal since he's brought them in, and I mean, just a force to be reckoned with each time.
There are crazy things happening, and we know as Ryor passed away, he passed the mantle on to the punk rock prince, it would seem. So now the boy who tends to the horses now might be our only hope. I mean, help me, Obi Jordan Kenobi. You're our only hope. I mean, are we at that point yet?
I mean, we're still learning like well, first off, I mean, I think when Ryor said it to Jordan Cross, it was just like some kind of euphemism or something, like, feed the steed, boy. I mean, Jordan looked confused, didn't seem to like really understand what's going on. Who knows if that's like a thing? Who knows if there's like a steed that's actually going to show up at some point and like Jordan feeds? Who knows what that's about? Is it prophecy or is it bullshit? Who knows? But all we know is Jordan is now trying to pick up the pieces, and he's at war essentially with Crossturnia. He's just a punk rock prince, and now these three guys from another planet, almost like Kryptonian criminals, the Crossturnian criminals, he has to deal with them. But he doesn't have the power of Ryor. All the shit I just said is the most bizarre thing to be saying at my age, but that's what's fucking happening, guys.
Jordan Cross, the next generation of Kal-El. He is here. Someday he's going to find those crystals and he's going to get his power back wherever his fortress of solitude may be.
Yeah.
And then there's a picture up there right now of the most popular and most unlikely super wrestler, Delay Mignon. I mean,
he's a great guy. He brings food. The song is great. Check us out on Spotify. Like Delay Mignon. We love him.
That is super wrestlers right there, because that character, when you hear about it initially, you're like, what? And then when you see it and you watch it and you experience it, you're like, I was this years old when I found out that's one of the best fucking things I've ever seen. And that's the magic of super wrestlers right there, because you don't know you need these things until these things are put in your lap. and then you don't know how you're going to live without them. So there you go, Billy Whack. That should be your bumper sticker. You didn't know you needed the Super Wrestlers until you got the Super Wrestlers. Now you can't live without the Super Wrestlers.
Till it was too late.
Till it was too late.
At this point, I couldn't live without the Super Wrestlers. You plan things out, and then you hope it goes a certain way, but then you stand there as it's unfolding and unfurling around you, and it's like the best fever dream you could ever have. Still, 6 shows later, I'm still living my best life.
And you still have a bit of excited nervousness we can see as you're describing all the chaos. And I think that's the best thing, because that should never leave you. You should always have a nervous, excited situation before the show, is because if you don't, why do them? Because that's the adrenaline crack that we all crave.
Mm-hmm.
God bless it. And now you got the space shuttle as part of the graphic. So I'm thinking, are we going to space? That makes me think we're either going to space or you're going to reinvent music television.
Right. Boy, oh boy. I would love to reinvent music television. But I would also love to go to space. So never count anything out with the Super Wrestlers.
Super Wrestlers in space.
Are we going across Sternia?
We might go to space sometime.
Wow. That hit me right in the feels and made me feel kind of universal, if you will. I had that moment where I was like, my God, this is how Carl Sagan feels. That's impressive. Red, let's give Billy some flowers.
Oh, I mean, you have to do that, guys.
No, we do, because you've been here 6 fucking times.
I know. I get
on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, then how many more flowers can we give after 6 fucking times?
Plenty of flowers in the garden.
How hard do you want Red to work?
Yeah.
He always, he doesn't care about it. He doesn't care about anybody else. But what is there else to say?
And that's the thing. We should never take it for granted. That's why the flowers every time, because you don't know you need it until it's gone, and then you miss it. So there could be a day down the road where he's like, yeah, I can't do it this month. And then we'll be sad because we don't get it. So we got to love it. We got to live it. We got to embrace it. We got to feel it. Like the Jacksons in 81, we can feel it. Right, Rion?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? I'm wearing a Beat It t-shirt. I don't know when.
I noticed it.
All right.
I noticed it.
I'll tell you what. It's a spoiler for the show on Sunday.
Michael Jackson's ghost is going to be at the Concord Music Hall. That's
Michael,
amazing.
You're going to be there? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me make a note of that
Talking
so
about
that
Michael
we
Jackson.
can tie those ends together next week.
Got to be there. There you go.
Got to be there. Got
Just
to be there.
Be there in the moment. What is there to say that, again, that we have not said about Billy Whack? If anything, this time around, I will focus more so on you and your creative mind. I sat back, I'm gonna be honest, the day my wife went in for surgery, and I was horribly nervous, and I was trying not to show it. So as they were doing what they were doing, at one point I was in the waiting room, and your vignettes came on. And I just said, oh, okay, let me watch these, and just to see what they're about. But the more I got into each different character, the more I got into each and every story. So you have, as a fan, you have to sit back and look and say, damn, this was, for a snippet, this was pretty fucking awesome. But as a friend, I believe I can say that, I have to admire your fucking mind. Like,
Thanks.
I'm I can't imagine what you go through in a regular day when this stuff is crossing in your head and you're trying to get it out, but you got to remember, do you drive home and something hits you and now you got to cut the radio off because you got to hold on to that memory? Like, I got to
The
get
radio
some.
helps actually. I think I'm going through a Brian Wilson phase. I don't leave the house much anymore or do anything. So
That
I
is so
really,
good. Yes.
oh, I
We
mean,
should all get to go through a Brian Wilson phase.
oh my God, ask my closest friends and stuff. They're like, you don't go, you don't leave, you don't. I live right. I don't. I have everything here. Why would I leave?
See, when you go through the Brian Wilson phase, there's a part of it where you meet an evil doctor. He gives you quaaludes, you lose weight, and you make one of the most brilliant albums of the 80s that nobody's ever heard.
Well, Quaaludes, where can I get these Quaaludes?
That's right.
Imagine, what
You
does a
never
Quaalude
hear.
even do anymore? It's probably like nothing, you know?
Probably nothing.
Yeah. It's
They
like,
call them Tic Tacs these days.
right. Give me ludes, man. Give me ludes.
But
Thanks, Rod. Thanks. I appreciate it.
I can you I know we say it, um, but I thought the previous company, I thought that was things you were doing were, of course, we all know that we're different, that we're unique, that nobody else was doing anything like it. And now we could say the same thing, but we need it now more than we needed it then. For the simple fact, and we've talked about this before, everything now is almost cookie cutter,
Mm-hmm.
and we can go to a night of super wrestlers and not know what to get. Because in order to know, remember earlier we were talking about, dirt sheets and things like that. The only way to know, and I mean unequivocally know what is going to happen this Sunday is to get into your head. I mean, literally get in your head, and nobody is able to figure out where you're going because I can guarantee I could probably name three things that I think are going to happen this Sunday, and I guarantee I'll be wrong on all three. Because, again, like I said earlier, I think I got the answer. No, you changed the question. And that just goes, and I appreciate, and I don't know if anybody on this panel has ever paid attention to you. I've seen you kind of look out at the audience during and after a match on their reaction. And I paid attention to it. And I'm like, he sees what we see. And it's phenomenal because, again, think about it. Most people, okay, here's the card, go ahead. And somebody in the back just sits there till the show is over. Like, don't you hate when the promotion, how'd it go?
Oh, right.
Like, why are
Yeah.
you asking me? Didn't you say, why weren't you watch? Like, if you thought this was match of the night, why did you not watch the match of the night?
Yeah.
That's why you booked it, right? That's why
Like
you paid it.
if you're running shows and you're not doing it because you are a fan, like if you're not a fan of your own product, if it's like an albatross, if it's like an anchor around your neck each month, like why are you doing it if you're not a fan? Or if it's like you said, Red, like if what'd you think of my match? Somebody comes busting through the curtain, the promoter's there just counting the money or stuffing the envelopes. Like you've taken indie wrestling and you've just made it this boring, repetitive job. You've given up on the creativity of it. Oh, look, that's why I think, again, what we're doing and like what everybody else does, it's two different things. I've had mixed emotions throughout this year and a half with it. Like oh, if you have 3 letters or 4 letters, and that's your wrestling company, or if you named it after like a region of we're Midwest South Undersea Championship, like 3 or 4 letters in your company or a name of a
Or
region.
you
It's just bullshit.
or you bought 4 letters of a
You bought
company.
you bought
There
4 letters.
go.
You changed everything around, slapped yourself all over it, and made it like a completely weird vanity project that, like, I don't know. People
Not
are
the
weird.
Planet Fitness.
People like a Planet Fitness. People are weird and people do different things. And I don't know, like it's a gift to be able to do this, to be able to do these shows or to be able to run one of these things or and to just squander it away by like not being reaching its creative full potential. Like, I don't know what you're doing then. But again, that's why I don't think anyone is really competition. We're doing something different. We have a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of production. There's stuff going on, and you guys are just doing wrestling. We're doing wrestling, but we have, you guys have seen it. You know what it is. It's just different. But if you want to be a wrestling promotion, great, do it. Just do it good. Everybody do it good. If you're in a position where you get to do something fun like this, just do it good. Don't be lazy.
Those are some great words of advice for everybody that they should take it. Billy Wack, tell the masses where you're going to be this Sunday and why they should be there.
Oh, God. This Sunday, I will be at the Concord Music Hall for Super Wrestlers Rising. Doors open at 6, bell time 7 p.m. Come on out to the Concord Music Hall. We have wizards and barbarians and people getting killed. Not for real, but for real, believe. Just believe. Believe everything. Robots, wizards, magicians, a guy that's a moose. He'll throw pubic hair at you. We have all kinds of things. It's a different pro wrestling show. It is the Super Wrestlers.
Brought to you by the good folks at Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
It's the only thing we drink on the Power Hour. Before we let you go, I have been looking at your shirt for the past hour, and Red made a nod to it. We made the Michael Jackson nod. Now I'm going to officially decode what that shirt means because I think I have figured it out.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I hope this isn't a spoiler, but
Okay,
I figured it out. So, Super Wrestlers episode 1 through 5 are off the wall. And on Sunday, we get our first look at motherfucking Thriller.
Boy, I hope, because man, what an album. There wasn't a single bad song on Thriller.
So
No.
I think we are all ready to see Billy Wack in a white suit and a tiger laying seductively in the ring, welcoming us all to the Concord Music Hall.
No. Close?
Damn it, I thought I had it.
I don't know.
I was very excited about that theory. Oh, well.
That's a good look.
It's a fever dream, as you said. Billy, as always, we appreciate your time. Free Super Wrestlers. We all wish you the best. We can't wait for the show. We look forward to it each and every time it happens. We hope you are rising in more ways than one and have the best show of your life.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure. Like I said, if I don't do one of these before a show, the show is just going to fall apart. So you've got me forever.
That is Billy Wack. He is the original great mind in wrestling. And don't miss Thriller. There it is. Don't miss Thriller. He's going to wear that jacket. I'm telling you, this Sunday at the Concord Music Hall. Thank you, Billy. We appreciate you as always.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Billy.
See ya.
That, of course, is the one, the only Billy Wack. He is the king of pop when it comes to Super Wrestlers. What do we think, guys?
The Super Wrestlers.
The Super Wrestlers.
I'm not thinking because I know that whatever I think is going to be wrong.
So I'm
going in with a clean slate to see what happens.
I have a confession to make.
Oh, do you?
I wanted to say it while he was on, but I just couldn't do it because my heart is broken. I think this will be the first Super Wrestlers that I miss.
What?
Yep.
Why?
I have a family situation and I can't resolve it to make it into
bring it to Super Wrestlers.
I'm just saying.
Bring it to Super Wrestlers. Bring the situation.
I didn't want to say it because we are so blessed that he comes on our show. I feel we're obligated and responsible to be there each and every time to support him like he supports us. So I'm a little depressed about it. And there's going to be a cremation, and
so who's going? Because I'm not sitting by myself.
It's not 100%. I'm not 100% absent. There's still a glimmer of hope, but after today, it's not looking great. So I was going to say it, but I'm like, you know what? That's something he doesn't need to hear. Not that my presence at Super Wrestlers is any big fucking deal, but you
could be the goat. You could be the curse.
I just couldn't say it to his face. Damn it. Oh well. Moving on. So Super Wrestlers this Sunday, Concord Music Theater in Chicago. Parking is easy. The venue is beautiful. It's easy to get in. It's easy to get up. The seating is great. The pace and tempo of the show is magnificent. Plenty of time to get up, get a beverage, get a souvenir, sit back down, get back up. You have established times where you can relax yourself, and then once you get back to your seat and the show starts again, you don't move until the next break. So the way he does it is absolute genius, and I recommend to everybody that I see. And there's big happenings going on this Sunday, so we'll be looking forward to that. So let's go rapid fire on some of these things. And Chris Logan said last week that he was going to try to make it on the show tonight.
Since I missed all the wrestling, I'm going to bow out and watch Beetlejuice with Hazel.
Okay. Well, thank you for being a part of it. Sorry you had to ride home. Sorry you have a gas leak, and sorry for all the bad things that happen.
That's okay. It's my life.
We're going to find out the information you need found out. I swear to you.
Okay, good. All right. Goodbye. I love you all, smooches.
Goodbye, Russian Blue. And then there were 3. So let's talk about Rocket Pro.
Okay, hold on.
Here comes the award. Once again, C-Red wins a Nova Award for Match of the Year. It's amazing that a man that's on sabbatical would have an award for Match of the Year. It's really
Match of the season.
Really funny.
And it's last season.
It's funny how that works. But it was a great time. Rocket Pro Wrestling, another great crowd, another great situation. The Rocket Rumble was amazing. Fan access was great. Next Friday night, the 20th, if you didn't get a chance to see Rocket Pro Wrestling's Fall Brawl, you can go to the Hollywood Boulevard, and it's in Woodridge, I believe.
Yes.
And you can see it on the big screen. I'm going to be there, and I have it on good authority that my wife and my son are coming to the Hollywood Boulevard Theater to watch the show. And if you know me and you know my situation, they don't like wrestling, so they never come to anything, but they're going to come and support it on the big screen. So that happened Friday the 20th. Rion's got the graphic right there. You can get your tickets by clicking on that little QR code, and it'll sell out quick. It'll sell out quick. I'm not going to lie. So I better get their tickets. Jeez Louise, I'm slacking. I'm going to have to talk to the bosses and see how that works. But it was a great show in the fact that,
was it?
To me, the show always has a hero that does the right thing and a villain that does the unspeakable. And it's funny to me that the villain that did the unspeakable was former hero Maximus Orion as he turned on Turtle.
But we don't know. Again, we don't know.
We know enough.
No, we don't.
Did you look in Shelly's eyes when that happened?
Okay, and
Shelly was pissed. The hurt.
Shelly was pissed.
The embarrassment.
But here's the thing, dude, and we talked about it, right? Let's be honest, or me and Connor talked about
Yeah, he's your new BFF on commentary. And I get it. He's a great guy. Very good at commentary. You'll see that at the Hollywood Boulevard.
Let's be honest, dude.
Rocket Pro's in good
Or,
hands when the current denomination at the table retires.
hey, when for and it was happening before I came back. But I'm gonna say for at least a season and a half, right?
Uh-huh.
Turtle is the man, right?
Yes.
Every time that song hits, the kids and then the parents and everybody in the whole building is rocking the shell shock, right?
Yep.
Everybody is geek. He gets the biggest pop always, right?
Indeed, he does.
And yet Maximus has to play second fiddle constantly behind Turtle. I mean, after a while, that's got to be a little annoying. It's got to be. It's got to be.
And I think that's an easy out to a much deeper issue.
And it might be a deeper issue, but I'm saying we don't know if that was the issue or if there's something else that's bugging him. Like, we haven't even heard from Maximus.
We don't need to hear from him. His actions are damning. He has become what he was trying for the first 5 seasons to repel. He has become a piece of shit.
Haven't you ever made a mistake?
Plenty of mistakes.
So are we instantly gonna throw away 5 seasons?
Oh, we should.
Absolutely. So we have not heard.
When you are that guy in a locker room, you have a moral responsibility to be that guy. You don't get to get butthurt because your pop isn't as loud as Turtles. So that argument is absolutely asinine.
We don't even know if that's the case.
All we know is Maximus is probably joining the fucking Undeniable because that's where the bread is buttered.
All I'm going to say is sometimes we don't know the issues.
Plenty of points to be had in this business.
Sometimes it's justifiable. Let's be honest.
Wait a minute. I better take the glasses off. I would not want Travis Steve to have more opportunity to do impressions of me. I'm not challenging anybody. I'm merely doing what Michael Cole did when young Mysterio planted lips on a young lady in front of Rhea Ripley. He said some derogatory things. That's sometimes how it happens on commentary. I'm going to attack him. I'm commenting on him being a piece of shit. And now Rion has got the time. Now Rion's got time. So go ahead, Rion. You got the time.
It's not even that I have the time. It's something that I'm going to send in the chat that I want you to see because it was something that was sent to me by other people. And they asked me to send it once you started mentioning this thing. I'm not going to do it, but I'll let you see it so you can understand where everyone's head is. It's not a matter of having the time. It's a matter of stopping an evil before it starts.
Stopping an evil before it starts. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't really give a crap where everybody's head's at, to be honest with you. So that's fine. You send whatever you need to send. But on the flip side, when someone goes bad, someone rises up and becomes great or greater. And there is no bigger hero at Rocket Pro Wrestling than one real deal Rion Skills, who created the electricity that ended that show in the biggest of possible ways. And now is rewarded with a heavyweight title shot at Darkness Falls versus Steve Michaels. And we have our first time out of the show. Can't wait to find out how I'm wrong now.
You want to find out how you're wrong? So, remember last season, Steven, when you believed Rion was so wrong for doing what he did. And I am the only person that constantly said, well, maybe there's a reason and we should talk. And you constantly said there was no reason for his despicable actions and yada, 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 yada. And now you're saying that he's the biggest hero. I'm like, Steve, I never stopped seeing Rion as a hero.
Well, that's why you're
He,
the urban sensation, see,
he
Red.
just he sometimes you have to do bad things to get good results.
That's fair. I'll accept that.
So why is it so different with Maximus?
I don't know.
Sometimes you have to do bad things to get good results. Now, I could be completely off on this. I can. But again, I'm just saying, am I disputing you? No, I am not. Am I disregarding your opinion? No, I am not. I do think that again, I don't even think Turtle got the biggest pop of the night. I think it was Rion. I think let's be honest, in the 20-man Royal Rumble style event, when Can You Feel It hit, people start to look around like, really? Really? And when he came out and went back and then came back, woo! And we got the wave, and it was a beautiful thing. So I'm just saying, let's not always discard everybody. Again, sometimes you can be a good-hearted person. Trust me, I know from my personal experience. You can be a good person and do something bad, but have good intentions. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Other action at Fall Brawl, Final Level did not get their titles back due to the Fabulous Idols and Damian Saint and their cockamamie plans. The Three Rings still the tag team champions.
That's a bug.
It was a good night for the Undeniable as Eric wins the Rumble and becomes the first ever Zero Gravity champion. And Ryan Matthews is now the Outer Limits champion. So they have 3 of the 4 titles at Rocket Pro Wrestling.
No, they've got all single titles, all the single titles.
Yeah, they don't have the tag titles. Maybe they almost had them. I mean, Gray and Cade came out and did their best to win. We all enjoyed the suburban German bites. They were delicious. We were given some by Captain Dave. Thank you, Captain Dave. Also, before we stop talking about Rocket Pro, I want to give big kudos to the Shelleys. The way the new setup is at St. Joe's Park is really great. All the new things they did, the upgrades, the changes. I don't think people give them enough credit for how hard they work and what they do. And if you hear that graphic reminded me of one thing. So thank you, Shelley family, for being excellent. That match, Shaq Jordan versus Sam Knight. If you go to Hollywood Boulevard and you watch the show, when Sam Knight hits the spear on Shaq Jordan, that might be the greatest spear I have ever seen, and I marked out like a child. That might be my proudest commentary moment because I was so into what was happening in that match that I was like, holy shit. So if you go to the Hollywood Boulevard, watch that match, watch that spear, and watch our reaction on commentary to said spear. I felt like a kid again. And that doesn't happen very often. Another great, sensational show for Rocket Pro Wrestling. Next month, Darkness Falls. There'll be a lot happening in Joliet that night. But Rocket Pro is always a great place to see a show. Other places.
And the main event.
Rion
What's the main
Skills
event?
versus Steve Michaels. There it is. There it is. Can the real deal become the heavyweight champion? It would remind one of the PCW days if he finds a way to beat Steve Michaels, and I think that would be pretty cool.
I don't Well, I'm not sure about that situation, but I think this is the one time where the undeniables do not have the upper hand,
You might.
regardless of the numbers.
Uh,
Rion Skills is one of those guys that has eyes in the back of his head, and more importantly, he has the fortitude to fight through whatever Steve Michaels throws at him. Not saying he can't be hurt or he can't be put down, but I've seen Rion Skills get put down, and I've seen him fight back and fight back in such a way where you regret starting the fight. It's like that bully scenario, you know, that bully that keeps picking on you every single day. And then finally that one day he picks on you and starts beating on you and has everybody looking and laughing at you. And finally you've had enough and you just get up and start molly-whopping that bully to the point where now the bully wants no part of it. Just like I can see that happening. I think if Steve Michaels isn't uh smart enough to understand uh Rion Skills is not your average run of the mill wrestler. And if he's not careful, uh Rion might and can put him down for the 1, 2, 3. Because again, that's all it takes. 3 seconds. Doesn't need to keep him down there 5 or 10, just 3 seconds. That's it.
well, he's certainly not going to scare him or have a superior gigantic size advantage like he does normally. Rion is going to match him in volume in that ring for sure. So it's going to be a good old fashioned house battle, and it's a Nightmare on Elm street fight. So that is the danger of Darkness Falls. There's always one of these matches that spurs the imagination in a dark place. And we saw the last ride ambulance match, or the last ride match, the coffin match. So this is WrestleMania to me for Rocket Pro. I always feel like the craziest shit happens at Darkness Falls, which makes it such an appealing event to me. Plus, it's my anniversary with Rocket Pro. It's the first show I ever called. So it's great to go around that block one more time and have that experience under us. So that's the first announced match. There'll be more as we get closer to Darkness Falls, but our own Rion Skills battles for the title, and you just may have one more win in that bag of tricks for the man that has been wrestling for a very long time and has championship in his blood. So don't miss Darkness Falls coming up in October for RPW. So that's that.
Hey, we might have to bring your boots. If the undeniable want to get dirty, maybe the power hour need to get dirty.
Well, I have been told by many people that I don't need to get in the ring. I need to stay where I belong, stay in my lane. So we'll stay
And
in our
whenever you ever listen to Black
Well,
Rock,
like I said, I hear things and I see things and I get told things. So, stay in pocket. That's what I got to do. Um, Moving on to the next thing, let's talk a little Wrestle League because we've got a Thursday night special edition of Wrestle League coming up this week. I get to go back to Lincoln Hall and do the commentary for them.
oh
Uh,
wow,
the show is called It's Payback, Bitch. If you've never seen wrestling at Lincoln Hall in your life, get out there and see it. Doors open at 7, show starts at 8. So even with the nastiest of Chicago's traffic, you'll be able to make it there, park, and get into the building on time to see it. I know it's a bit stressful for me to get there when I'm supposed to be there coming from work, but it's worth every moment. Pestilence is the word at Wrestle League at Lincoln Hall. You've got Joey uh, Joey Dalton. I'm sorry. I had Joey Avalon in my mind, but that I knew that wasn't right. You got Joey Dalton and Christian Torrington and Quinn Whittick as Pestilence. And they've got a lot of gold. They've got the tag team titles. They call it, what is it? The True Honor title. Am I right? Is that what it's called?
I'm not
Whittick
sure.
has it's the belt that Ewok used to have. Why can't I remember the fucking name of the title? Quinn's gonna the Urban. What is it called?
Urban Honored.
Yeah, I knew Urban Honor Championship. That's right, and that was made. That was made when Ewok had it. That was one of those belts that you had to go see defended. And now that Quinn's got it, it's main event type stuff. So belts are going to be defended at Lincoln Hall. And the only there are two matches that I'm aware of. One I know is happening, and one I believe is happening. You have got Shogun Chris Logan taking on Shaq Jordan. Now, Shaq has been a thorn in Shogun's side for a while. And you heard Shogun on this show talking about being a teacher and a mentor to Shaq Jordan. And we have heard Shaq talk very nicely about Shogun and all the things he's learned. So now you've got another one of those teacher versus student scenarios. But things are a little different when it's Wrestle League and it's Lincoln Hall. Shogun tends to be a different version of himself everywhere he goes. The Shogun at Super Wrestlers and the Shogun at Rocket Pro are two very different Shoguns. And the Shogun at Wrestle League, that might be the most dangerous of all of them. So Shaq Jordan is in for a rude awakening, although he seems pretty confident that he has got Chris Logan's number. So that is one match that will be there to be seen at this show. It's Payback, bitch. And then we have heard the stories, we've seen the videos, we've heard the song. J.R. Lindsay is in a rap battle. And I believe these two gentlemen will be squaring off in some form of or fashion. I'm not 100% sure that's going to happen, but that's what I hear. There's a great picture of it right there as things are about to get heated between these two kind of Kendrick Lamar Drake-esque, if you will. So, have you heard the songs, Red?
No.
There's a lot of
I'm past all
the kids call them diss tracks.
Well, I mean, we call it beef, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, settle it in the ring, whoop somebody ass, and call it.
And they got a hell of a women's division. Brittany Kay will be there. Muscle Mommy from Rocket Pro will be there. Lulu Lorena she'll be there. So there's a lot of high octane women's action that happens at Lincoln Hall too. Plus, Kid Lat and the Thundercat, Thunder and Lightning, will be probably at Wrestle League, and they're as a tag team, they're always entertaining to watch. And wasn't that awesome at Rocket Pro when Kid Lat made his debut in the Rumble?
Oh, of course.
Ray made his debut in the Rumble.
Oh, dude, I think people didn't know what to take from Disco Ray, and the more like he danced and people got into it, like at one point, if you remember, like everybody, even in the ring, just gave him center stage, and the crowd was eating it up.
Was actually clapping him on,
and everybody was like,
do that shit.
No, everybody was into it, So
except maybe Aaron Stone and Mark Reconcile, but that's a story for another time.
Well, they got history, so
yeah. So Wrestle League this Thursday night, Lincoln Hall. Get there and check it out. It is going to be a hell of a show. And then I pull double duty. I go to Chicago Style Wrestling for Friday the 13th, this Friday night. And our visiting dignitary this time around is former TNA Knockout, one half of the Beautiful People. The birthday girl herself, Angelina Love, will be our special guest at CSW this Friday night. And she has the birthday assignment of taking on one Amina Belmont. Have you seen the Amina Belmont?
Yeah, I have.
Mina Belmont is crazy.
We've had her on the show.
She is certifiably insane. We have had her on the show, but the Amina Belmont we had back then and the Amina Belmont that's out there now. Did you see the promo? Did you see the vignette?
No, I have not.
Share the vignette. Go find it and watch it. It is a crazy, crazy situation. I'm not sure Angelina Love realizes what she's walking into when she hits Chicago on Friday night. But she'll be celebrating her birthday with us. We'll make it a great time, and Amina Belmont will ruin it as she does just about everything because she is an angry young lass. That much is true. So that's just one of the matches happening at CSW this Friday night. The Nihilist, the Warhorse, the champion, Jake Parnell. Did you see how many belts that boy has?
No, how many?
He has got like 16 titles from various places. You want to talk about the Hardys' expedition of gold? They got nothing on the Nihilist. That dude was sitting on a chair and you could not see his body. There were so many belts. I've never seen one human have that many belts. He's got titles everywhere. And he's ranked number 132 in PWI. So
Whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? That's an honor to some people.
Here's my thing. Again, I'm not saying that a lot of people don't deserve it, but then you got to look at some of the rankings and be like, huh? Say what? Like
Jake is one of the hardest working motherfuckers I've
I'm,
ever
I'm,
seen.
I'm not saying Jake doesn't deserve it. There are a ton of people. You mentioned Joey Avalon. Joey Avalon finally got in. There's a ton of people that I know. I know Sierra's in there.
Yep.
There's a ton of people that I honestly feel deserve finally the recognition that they're getting. And then there's other people. Some are being like, and I'm not marking out for them. I don't know them personally, but you cannot tell me WWE would not be where it is today if it was not for Roman. Roman got through that story to Cody and passed the torch to Cody. So to leave Roman out, so you mean to tell me there are 500 people that are better than Roman, but they're not on Monday night?
That's fair.
You like make it make
I
sense.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
No.
I'm looking at it from the fact that it's cool that the people we know and work with on the regular are and you know, no, people,
Yeah.
everybody knows who Roman, everybody knows how good Roman is. You know, I'm sure that's just, he didn't wrestle for a period of time. Maybe that's what that was. I don't know. I don't know what the criterion is for PWI, but I'm glad to see our people that are part of it.
Well, I'm always happy to see our people. I mean, because most of them deserve it, you know.
You get to see Warhorse at Frontline Pro pretty soon. So, you know, it all travels together. He'll be fighting Conan Lycan on Friday night. Conan,
Come on, Conan.
Huh?
I said, come on, Conan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If anybody's going to be angry at Warhorse for what's transpired, Conan Lycan is a man on a mission to get his title back. And Warhorse better have his best 132nd ranked performance of his life if he thinks he's going to beat the Land Shark, because Conan Lycan has got laser focus and he has been provoked to the point of insanity. So we'll see where this match goes. Hopefully it will be the banger that I expect it to be. Other matches that we talked about, Amina Belmont. We have got the Diamond in the Rough, the CSW Metric Division champion, Rafael Quintero, defending his title against Jax Johnson of the Brass, the sole member of the Brass because TJ Steele cast aside the rest of the Brass just prior to the assassination attempt that we talked about at the top of the show. It's an interesting matchup. Jack Johnson got the win over Marche Rocket at Cruel Summer. So Jack Johnson might be looking to take his place as the CSW Metro Division champion. Because if you can beat Marche Rocket, I think you can beat anybody. So Quintero better have his TNA, his NWA, all the places he's been because he's blown up. He better have all of the juju working for him, or Jax could come in and sneak. And TJ Steele has still got his back, so you just don't know if the shenanigans are happening. Red, what do you see? Wait, real quick. I'm sorry, Red. Who do you pick, Belmont or Angelina Love?
Belmont.
I'm going with Angelina Love on her birthday. Conan Lycan, Warhorse.
I told you, Conan.
Somehow the nihilist is going to get it done as much as I love Conan. Jax Johnson, Quintero. Who you got?
Quintero. Jax Johnson just got wrestling gear. Come on now.
Don't let Levi hear you say that. Levi
Jax Johnson just got wrestling gear.
He's black excellence to Levi. That's the thing. We've got a triple threat match, and this one's very compelling. You've got Jay Marston of the Hate Keepers. You've got Solomon Tupu, who was a former Hate Keeper that doesn't like the Hate Keepers. And then you got the wild card. You got Marche Rocket all day. That beard is a different Marche. So I know Tupu and Marston have eyes for each other because of all the shenanigans that have gone down with the Hate Keepers, but they better keep their eyes on the man with the M80 because Marche Rocket is getting tired of this. Marche Rocket is wondering why he's not getting title opportunities. Marche Rocket is wondering why each and every month he is in a triple threat or a fatal four-way.
I can answer all of that.
Answer all of that.
TJ Steele.
The worst general manager in history.
So, and I would agree. You have to, before Steve Aaron entered CSW land, there was the Soul Touches, right?
Right.
Nobody cared who TJ Steele was. Let's be honest, we were the high commodity, right? Everybody wanted a piece, right?
Still are at NWA, Chicago.
We had at one point, we had all the gold.
Yep.
We had the Metro title. We had the tag title. We had the heavyweight title. We ran CSW. And TJ Steele hated it. Why? Because he wasn't getting those shots. So now, nobody's there but Marche. So what can he do now but keep denying Marche his opportunities and putting him in situations where he know injuries are more likely to happen, double teams are more likely to happen. Like Marche is more out there as a target more than a competitor. That's why Marche, you think I haven't been following this, and I have. Marche is out there, and it's TJ Steele's way of getting back. Like, hey, you never gave me this, so I'm not going to give you that, but I'll put you in the triple threat this month. Yeah, next month, I'm going to put you in the four-way.
Completely underutilizing one of the greatest assets that the company has. And that's the difference between me and TJ Steele. He said I didn't give anybody opportunities. I'd utilize the assets to the best of my ability to make the shows entertaining. But that's neither here nor there. I picked Marche Rocket in this match. Not that I don't think Tupu is one of the best I've ever seen. He was in PWI too. He had a pretty high number. But I'll never, ever on any show at any time pick against Marche Rocket.
All day, baby.
All day. Let's move on. We've got a tag team matchup that is incredibly compelling. You've got the champions, Jet Avalon and Sierra, Bad Meets Evil, taking on Lily La Pescadita, fresh off of her win over Chris Miller in one of the most violent matches I've ever seen. The suplex through the chairs still haunts my dreams. And she is teaming up with her partner in life, Iniestra. So it's Iniestra and Lily taking on Avalon and Sierra. Very interesting matchup there. You've got two people that are running high in NWA Chicago against Sierra and Avalon, who are running high everywhere. It's a very compelling matchup, Brad. Who do you pick?
Not really, because if we have to really look at it and we have to put it in its context, three of these people are loved by CSW. One person is damn near just like people want him dead. And I think that friction is going to unfold during this match.
I don't know. You talk about forgiveness earlier in a previous situation. He was cast aside by the evil TJ Steele. This might be a comeback story for
but this ain't the time. Again, we both
this could be the rise of El Sueño.
Let's be honest, we both just mentioned PWI and Sierra and Avalon are mentioned. But besides that, we've when I think of Joey Avalon in CSW, I think of one match, and that was that match with Nick Brubaker.
Yeah.
Where fucking holy hell shit was used, everything was used but the kitchen sink. And I think they tried to walk in the back by the bar and pull that damn bitch out. So I don't see Inestra being able to outpower Avalon. And you know I love Lily. You know I do. And I like Sierra. And I think Sierra has a lot more experience under her belt. So when you combine Sierra and Joey, and they got the gold already. So again, they just don't have to be pinned again. A low blow, whatever. They've got the easier job. And Nestra and Lily have a harder job, and that's actually pinning one of them for 1, 2, 3.
I love the possibilities of the tag team of Iniestra and Lily, but I cannot possibly pick against the domination that has been the reign of bad meets evil. So I am picking, of course, Sierra and Joey Avalon to win and retain their titles. Moving on to the six-pack challenge. See, this was my bread and butter at my period of general managers. I love the six-pack challenge. I love putting six people in that ring and having them fight to the finish. It's great theater. It always has been. That's a lot of bodies with one goal. And this match has a lot of moving parts. You've got Eddie Grayson and Jack Valor, who are a tag team that has been doing very well at CSW. And they have been plagued by the evil black sheep FXB. Will FXB somehow undermine either of them in this match? Only time will tell. You have got Hans Carden, half crab, who beat Steve Boz. Red, he made Steve Boz tap out last month. You have Mateo Valentine, one half of Big Mood, a very formidable tag team. You have Steve Boz, the legendary superstar, the man that you love, your favorite Rob Zombie song. You got the Boz, the B-O-Z. And then you've got this new beast of a man. If you haven't seen Bruce Hamilton yet, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like Vader reincarnated, but in shape with muscles. Bruce Hamilton is the future. He is a motherfucking monster. This six-pack challenge is fire. So as much as I hate TJ Steele, this is great theater. I will enjoy this match. I will enjoy calling this match. I don't know how Bruss doesn't win this match. I mean, you'd love to pick Boz because he's the Boz, but I feel like any of these combatants could walk away with a win here. But I think my money's on Bruss.
I think it comes down to Boz and Bruss. Uh, and not taking away from any other competitor, they deserve an opportunity, and they are professional athletes. Uh, and I say Boz and Bruss again. I haven't seen Bruss before, but he is a huge individual,
You would capture your imagination, Red.
and Boz is riding high off a victory on NWA. Uh, so I believe it will come down to those two. But I have to go with Bruss, uh, giving him the edge only because he's bigger and uh, I think his power will play a factor in this match. Like I can see him destroying everybody and then getting the bars and being a little bit more difficult, but finishing the job nonetheless. So, like you said, you know, my heart says bars, but in my head is Bruss.
Then we have a fatal four-way tag team match, which Rion had the graphic up a little earlier. This is a very interesting flyer. There's a lot going on in this flyer. There's a lot going on here. Adam Stallion and Cypher, they are
Yeah.
a proven commodity as a tag team. Eric Schultz and Ryan Matthews have been a part of the brass, and they have tag teamed quite a few times. Although, if you look at it, it's not listed as the brass. It's listed as Eric Schultz and Ryan Matthews because the brass has been disbanded. So that's an interesting dynamic. Then you've got Axel Rico and Doom Montgomery as a tag team, which is absolutely, I still am shocked of you want to talk about strange bedfellows? I don't even know how that works, but somehow it's genius.
But
And
were they put together or did they come together is the
I
question.
I, I am I'm gonna be watching this, trying to figure that out myself. I don't know how these two came to be a tag team, but here we are. And then that tag team on the end makes me a little uncomfortable. Chris Miller has been getting the shit beat out of him for many months. He's been attacking the women's division. He's on a path that I never thought I would see Chris Miller. And now he's tagging up with FXB, who is another guy that has a really bad attitude. So you've got bad and bad coming together to make super bad, like really bad, like violent, and don't really care about winning, just care about, inflicting pain and suffering. So this is a Molotov cocktail of a fatal four-way. I have to go with Stallion and Cypher because to me, of all the tag teams here, they are the most established. And I think maybe a little bit of cohesion will get you the win here. But if Rico and Doom gel, it would be hard to pick against them. But what if Miller and FXB just slobber knocker everybody out cold? So this is one of those matches that could go either way. And maybe Schultz and Matthews find new life now that they're out of the grasp of TJ Steele. So very compelling fatal four-way tag match. I'll tell you that, Red.
I am going to pick Rico and Doom.
Not a bad
And
idea.
here's why. Rico has been on a proving tour per se since coming back, beating the best of the best, and proving that, his injury did not derail him or stopped him at all.
Not even close.
Doom is off the fucking hinges. So if you get somebody, one person who is out to prove he can go with anybody and not scared of anybody, and you got another person who just don't give a damn
Yeah.
about you or himself, that's the team I want to put my money on.
So it's going to be a hell of a match anyway. And I've saved the two most compelling matches for last. Not that they're all not compelling, but there are dynamics that work in these two matches that are could be destined for greatness. Let's start with Shane Boucher of the Hate Keepers taking on Maggie Lee. I don't understand what's going through the head of Shane Boucher to want to pick a fight with one of the fastest rising stars in the ranks of wrestling, period. Maggie is everywhere. Not that Shane isn't, but I'm just saying, why pick a fight with somebody on a roll when you don't have to? Shane Boucher is supremely talented. He does not care about his body. He will fly. He will do crazy shit that is probably making him worse for wear. But Maggie Lee is an artist in that ring. And she is something that people are going, she's going to be on a roll to the point where you are going to start hearing her name in bigger places, to be sure. Plus, the Hate Keepers put one over on the team of Conan, Tupu, and Maggie and rendered her unconscious. So Maggie's got vengeance on her mind. And you said, what they say, hell hath no fury as a woman scorned. Don't knock them out, because they're going to come back and want a quart of your blood. So I feel like the Hate Keepers have kind of sacrificed Boucher to satisfy the revenge lust of Maggie Lee. I mean, the stories to be told from this match could go on for years. I can't pick against Maggie, although I think Shane Boucher is one of the best working today. Very compelling matchup.
Yeah, but we can't take anything away from Maggie. Again,
no.
She is one of the fastest
Force of
women
freaking nature
superstars to come out the Midwest. And I think not only is this, I hate to sound cliche, but part of her revenge tour if she don't go through all of the Hate Keepers. But I think this shows that she's not one to be messed with. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Shane. Shane is a very good competitor. But I think Maggie has more fuel to the fire in this one. And Shane, just because she's a female, might go in there this Friday a little less. I'm not gonna like he's gonna be more relaxed. He's gonna almost be like, yeah, this is probably like a night off, and he's gonna might underestimate Maggie, and I think he's gonna find out real quick. You don't underestimate Maggie.
The wild card for me in this scenario is Suge, because he came back last month and I haven't heard him mentioned in anything to this point. So Hollister is a wild card throughout the night if he is in Franklin Park. So I feel like maybe that will be a level to this match that we're not expecting. But I think Maggie beat Shane in a classic. And I've saved the CSW Women's Championship match for last for a reason. Obviously, Shaz McKenzie recently joined the Hate Keepers. So she is now running with Warhorse and company. And she has now gotten a title shot at the CSW Women's Champion, Missa Kate. Shazza McKenzie has proved herself to be brilliantly devious and physically impressive when it comes to creating violence in the ring. She has been a thorn in the side of CSW now for a hot minute. And then you've got Missa Kate, the original CSW Women's Champion, who has gone through hell and high water to reconnect with what has become her birthright in that CSW Women's Championship. But if you saw the closing seconds of her match as she won versus Shelly Benson, it might have been revealed that the person that attacked Missa Kate all those months was Missa Kate herself. It had a very jokery vibe to it. It was a very disturbing vignette. And we know that Missa Kate is a bit of a wild spirit. She is erratic. She is unpredictable, as she is talented. But we have seen her do questionable things time and time again in different places. And that video, when we should have been celebrating the return to glory of Chicago's sweetheart, it made me give pause and think, what does this mean? And why is this happening now? So the devil in the details is, I don't know what Missa Kate is coming to Franklin Park. I know what Shazza McKenzie is. We all know what she is. And she's got the backing and the support of the Hate Keepers. We don't know what Missa is bringing to the table, what state of mind she'll be in, what that video really meant. It's very compelling. This could be the match of the night. Could we see a new champion? Could the return to glory of Missa Kate be cut short by the Hate Keepers? Like I said, Suge is running around. Warhorse seems fond to Shazza. So a lot of plot points circling around here in what should be a very, very interesting CSW Women's Championship match.
Man, Missa all day. Here's why. You basically summed up my whole point. You don't know which Missa you're getting. And think about that. Whether it's the Hate Keepers or more importantly, Shazza, she doesn't know what she's getting till she gets in the ring.
That's 100% true.
That goes in favor of Missa. And think about it. I told you last month, did I not? Missa Kate was going to win that title.
Yeah, you sure did. I agreed with you. I thought that it was her time, but I didn't think it was her time for any reason other than, the OG champion returns to, I was all caught up in that story. This story has changed.
It's changed, but again, you have to, like, Missa is that cute little dog, right? That little cute little dog, and you're like, oh, they're so cute and they're so cuddly and
You
they're
just
so
call Missa
soft.
Kate a dog?
I'm making a comparison. Understand what I'm doing.
I got you.
And you pick that little dog up and you're like, oh, you're so cute. Okay, here's a better scenario. Remember in Tom and Jerry when it was the little bulldog and everybody, and Tom thought that little bulldog was, oh, it's a puppy. It's not going to do anything. Yet that was the dog that tore him up all episode long. It wasn't the big giant bulldog 3 times his size. It was the puppy. You didn't know what you were getting. Missa, you don't know what you're getting. Nobody's going to know what happens and which Missa is there until the ring announcer announces and the bell goes ding ding.
In
Once
Wade
that
we trust.
once that happens, I guarantee, and I know Missa understands what she's up against. Missa is far from stupid.
Yeah.
We love her. We know her personally. We've had her on the show.
NWA,
Yeah,
TNA,
yeah.
AEW, she's up there.
So she knows she going if she goes out there Friday night, she's gonna be alone, right?
Yep.
But she knows Shaza isn't. She knows she's now running with a crew, right?
Right.
She's not crazy. She's not stupid.
She might be the
So
Joker.
hey, and I wouldn't blame her. Hey, if you could make a smile.
There you go. So that's this Friday night, Franklin Park. There it is, Friday the 13th. Doors open at 6:30. Bell time is at 10 after 7. That's when we do the dark match and we do the Futures Royal. The main card starts at 7:30. It's going to be a hell of a show. You never know how many you have left in your belt, so each one of is special. So don't miss that this Friday night. A couple of things to talk about before, and there she is, Angelina Love. It's her birthday. Come celebrate the birthday of the beautiful people's Angelina Love. So that's great. It's a very cool guest. It's great to have a special guest stars. And boy, the beautiful people. That's one of the great female tag teams in history, if not one of the great tag teams in history.
I agree.
So that's CSW in a nutshell this Friday night in Franklin Park. Be there if you can. And obviously, we know Super Wrestlers is happening Sunday. So you've got Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and I believe ARW is happening Saturday. So you could watch wrestling 4 days in a row if you so choose. So there's a lot of professional wrestling in Chicago area. Get out and see some. Support the class. It's fun. We're making it great again. Speaking of making it great again, let's end with a little bit of talk about the upcoming live free trial of the morning after. Us on the Power Hour will be the opening act, kind of like Jellyfish was to Tears for Fears when I saw Tears for Fears in '93. So we're going to get up there on that stage and we're going to talk about our.
Are we singing? Are we singing?
I don't think we're singing. I mean, maybe we'll sing. I mean, why not? It could be a musical day. So we're going to get up there and we're going to tell stories. I mean, both you and I extensively followed the morning after shenanigans for many moons. So we've got a lot to talk about. I mean, privileged catfish was a subject on the morning after. The rise and fall of the LRP and crash tested wrestling was subject matter on the morning after. We all remember Eric Bischoff on the morning after. So there's a lot we could say about the morning after.
Could it be the morning after? Don't you miss that song on Sundays? I really do.
Keep singing, Red. Let's go. Put that shit on TikTok.
No.
Come on, Pawpaw.
G Paul. And first of all, I do want to dedicate tonight's episode to two of my grandchildren that were born since our last episode. So dedication to Santiago and dedication to Alana. So
welcome to the world.
Love you very much.
Without you. That's great. Congratulations, Red. Family is so important to you, and I love the fact that you have more now. So the morning after, it's coming. It's finally here. Just a few weeks from now, a live podcast experiment. You get to come out to the VFW Hall in Richmond Park, where IPW runs, for an afternoon of shenanigans. Now, I on Sundays don't like to miss Bears games during the season. So Sunday I have to miss the night game, the Sunday night game, because of Super Wrestlers. But with my situation, I might miss the Bears game and Super Wrestlers, but that's another story for me to lament another time. I'm missing part of the Bears game to be a part of this. That's how important this is to me. As I have said many times on this program and others, I don't think there would be a power hour or a last man talking or anything, the gorilla position, which I had loved doing for a long time before this show, and we started doing it. What they did back then, we have emulated in many ways. You know, we're people getting together talking about wrestling. Their whole shtick is two friends getting together the morning after wrestling and talking about what went down the night before. That's the brainchild that it started with, and it became a thing that inspired a generation. They were doing wrestling podcasts before the term podcast was even a thing. So it'll be it'll be great to see what they have to do now and what this is going to be. I mean, it could be anything. It's coming from the mind of Max and Rion. So I'll tell you one thing, and it won't be boring, and it won't be short of opinions and controversy. That's for sure. So if you have the ability, go to Richmond Park, 2:00 p.m. Sunday the 29th, and check out the return of the morning after for real. It's back, and we're going to be there for the opener, and we'll sit there and watch what they do, just like the rest of you. So it's going to be a fun thing. We'll talk about this even more as we get a little closer to it. And their special guest is the legendary ice pick, Vic Capri, who one time back in the day was on a balcony high above the venue on the final PCW show and was thrown off said balcony by Joe Heisman through 169 tables. Crash, 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 crash. That's a lot of tables. That's like lunchrooms from 17 schools. Vic's a fucking legend. Vic's a fucking legend. And they have him at the very big return.
And I will agree. And it was told to us this past Saturday that we are the yin and yang to the morning after. And I found that as a very funny joke, yet comparison. But I think the one dynamic that the morning after brought that nobody could or has ever tried to emulate is they are genuine friends who just talk about, hey, so what, did you do a show last night? I did a show. Here's what happened while I did my show. Oh, you did a show? Tell me about what happened at the show you did. Like it was just a real conversation. It wasn't something sketched out or there was a lineup. It was just a genuine conversation. And then if they brought in a third person, hey, you did a show last night too. Tell us about your experiences or what happened, So with them, it was more of a real in the moment thing of just finding out about what took place the night before, and talking to a guest and finding out, if that guest had anything, that they did or, funny stories about themselves and this, that, and the other. So everybody should come on out to Richmond Park on September 29th at 2. That's why I have a phone. I can watch football from my phone.
Watch it with
and more importantly, watch my fantasy football and watch and see if Steve loses again.
It's not a great first fantasy week for me. I got my ass kicked by Joey Blues, so I do blame No Coast. And then in my other league, I just got beat. Caleb didn't help me. My faith is not shook. My Bears defense did great. That saved me. That kept me competitive, but I just couldn't overcome the lack of quarterback statistic. So now let's get back to the JFW business about my alter ego Travis Steve. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Red.
Oh, there it is. Oh, Styler Steven. Did you miss me? Oh, look at that face. Only a face a mother would love, isn't it? Yeah, it is. There it is. Look at you. Look at you with those glasses indoors like you're somebody. Anybody tell you you're inside? You don't need those? No? Maybe? All right, cool. Good talk. How have you been there, friend? I heard last week you had all of your little heroes on, and what'd they do? They all talked all that stuff, right? All their jazz. Dad Bod Marche Rocket came out with that big old Kamala belly of his, right? Talked about how he's all tough and bad still, huh? Right? Huh? Shogun Chris Logan talked about what? About what? Oh, he said something along about the lines of like, you can be a man to my back, but a bitch to my face. Hey, Chris Logan, I think you're a big old bitch. And I'm saying that right here on this podcast about you. To your face, you big dumb moron. Hey, stupid. How about you come on and, fight me for this sometime? Or, you can duck me like you've been doing for over a year. I mean, we have the video evidence, don't we, Steven? I'm pretty sure we do. I'm pretty sure we do. I know we do. I know you missed me. Goddamn. Long time. Your turn.
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. My back is healed up nice. You did some.
Are we going to talk? Okay, we'll talk about the little love tap. See, Red, good Lord. The man gets hit by a chair one time in his life and he acts like he's never been in the world of professional wrestling. What a sad, sad thing you have to deal with weekly. That is, I feel for you. I really do. A Hall of Famer or a man who's Hall of Fame caliber like yourself shouldn't really waste too much time with people like Steven. But, people slum and, that's cool. That's your thing. You keep slumming with homeboy over here. But as far as love tap goes, you put your hands on me first.
I did.
I would think you knowing my background, knowing what I'm capable of, and knowing what I've done to other people, you would have, I don't know, known better, possibly. Maybe you sit here and consider yourself a smart man. Does that seem like the smartest idea in the world to put your hands on me in my company, in front of my people? Really? I mean,
it was not my finest hour, that's for sure. Yeah, having it to do over, I don't know if I'd do the same thing, but I'll tell you what, I believe in Frontline Pro. I believe,
as you should.
I believed in what we were doing prior to your change in opinion and attitude. And I
disagree with you, Steve. I think you believe in Frontline Pro even more now. Don't you? Hold on. Let me. Au contraire, mon frere, if I may. You sit here and say that you used to believe in Frontline Pro, yet I have never heard you talk more about Frontline Pro and the belief in the talent than you have ever since I got this. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's because I make people relevant. Maybe it's because I'm really, really, really heads and shoulders and levels above, even final levels above, so many other people that love to call themselves pro wrestlers. But yet, when the PWI 500 comes out, I don't see any of these assholes' name on the list. So until I do, I'm not going to worry about it. But you see, we have guys on the PWI, right? Warhorse Jake Parnell, Joey Avalon, right? We got Mike Skyros from New York coming in. He's number fucking 166. We got Joe Alonzo is on there. Joe Alonzo, Frontline Pro guy, right? We deal with actual people who matter. Look at that poster. People who matter. But Sierra coming on back. People who matter, Steven. And you're talking to me about final levels. You're talking to me about ridiculous people that have no standing. And let's be honest, when it comes to guys like Marshe Rockett, living off of a reputation he built 10 years ago. What have you done for me lately, Marshe, when you're not under a mask on TV? Oh, I'm sorry. But everybody gets to talk shit about me when they're on this show. But when Ben comes out and Ben starts talking truth, now it's, oh, he's going too far. Now it's, oh, Ben, why are you doing that? Now everybody's got an issue. Hypocritical, if you ask me, don't you think, Stephen? Everybody else gets to get their First Amendment right free flying bannered all over Star Spangled everything. But when someone who's actually earned that right wants to use it, I get what? Ridiculed. I get told on the internet I'm a horrible person. I got all these little frontline trolls telling me that I'm going to lose my belt again because what? Ben Evenson got lucky one day. Hey, Steve, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Okay. So that's the equivalency of Ben Evenson's championship run in Frontline Pro. It was a fluke. I proved it. And then I proved that I was smarter than all of you, and I got this back. And now I have, what do we have? What do we have coming up? We have this 6-man tag, Team Shaq Jordan, like I haven't gotten rid of him already. The ladder match wasn't enough. And he wants to, bring 1.5 men to the fight? I'm supposed to be afraid about what? Swoggle's supposed to intimidate me? What am I supposed to do? Get on my hands and knees and beg him to not hit me? All right, let's look at this. Them against me, Muggsy, and someone you all don't know about, the third man. And everybody thinks it's got to be Quinn Whittick, but Quinn Whittick's in action that day, so that makes no sense. That's not a thing. Quinn Whittick goes one-on-one with Jason Hades for the first time ever. I love that.
Quinn Whittick's going to learn a lesson.
Oh, see, and I see what you did. Right before the magistrate walked on out and everything, she gave you all these extra little things that you got to get. And you got all your little buddies coming up for a night for Tyler. And you think you're cute. And you think you're smart. And you think I didn't notice. All of a sudden, Marshe Rockett's coming to the show. So I made sure I called your friend. And, now your savior can go and deal with him. And that'll be fine. And then you go and you get Jason Hades. And why do you get Jason Hades? Why? Because what? Because Jason Hades is the one guy I never beat back in the day? Well, okay, I'll give you that.
I notice you're not fighting him. I notice you're not fighting him.
I never. To be fair, though.
Why would you?
I didn't beat Jason Hades for not the lack of trying or anything like that, but the lack of opportunity. Mind you, me and that man have only fought twice ever. Okay, him beating me by disqualification and by a roll-up pinfall one time doesn't exactly constitute the greatest track record of all time against someone. Now, does it?
It just means you couldn't beat him.
Then I think Steve, you would agree that 15 years changes a ton of things. And so I don't think I'm that.
Why are you in a tag match and you're not fighting him? You have your opportunity to fight him, yet you chose not to take it. You're going to send your henchman Quinn.
I have a full plate as the champion of Frontline Pro. I got this 6-man tag thrown in my face because you wanted Team Frontline Pro to come and take down the Rapture. How do you think that's it's your fault, stupid? You're mad at me for not defending at Tyler? It's because you wanted that 6-man. Well, here it is. Now you got your little Team Frontline to come and save the day, just like you've been wanting for this whole time. But now you do all these things. 3 different little things. So you got my match, you got your little hands in on the Hades thing, you got your little hands in on the Marshe Rockett thing. But the question I have for you is what happens when it doesn't matter? Because I have people coming too, Steve. I have a war horse coming. And you don't know whose side that nihilist is on. And I can tell you right now, I am going to make that man an offer he can't refuse. And when that happens, more things move forward. More things get revealed, and you, Steve, get to learn what it's all about, which is ding dong knock knock me. And it always will be, because without me, Steve, without me, all of this stops. The gears stop moving, the machine shuts down. I am Master Blaster, all in one. And then I would like to do this, though. Since Marshe Rockett likes to get involved and wants to come and do things and likes to say stuff, I don't feel like it's fair because it's an away game for Marche, right? Like you would agree with that. It's an away game. And you sit there on the internet all the time and say, I'm not fair, but I want to be fair today. I think Marche deserves a fighting chance against Aaron Xavier. I think that Marche should have a little bit of something in his corner, don't you? So I think personally that C-Red should get up out of his chair, come on up tonight for Tyler on September 28th. Bring your old crushed velvet red suit wherever it's collecting dust and whatever, and pull that on out of your closet. Throw that shit on. Come on over, and manage your boy. Have the fun time, take the picture, do the thing. Hey, look, we came to Wisconsin together and had a great time at Quick Trip, and take the L like a man and go home. And I mean, I'm sure that C-Red has plenty of belief in Marche that he would. I mean, unless you don't. I mean, you wouldn't not show up because you don't believe in him, would you,
Red? You keep talking, Ben. You want me there so bad.
I keep asking, Red. You're a Hall of Famer.
I'll tell you what, Ben.
I'm listening.
You can only poke a bear before they strike back. So you want Marche?
I do. Very badly.
You want me?
Uh-huh. Okay. Don't forget Chris. Chris doesn't have to come this time, but I also want Chris sometime, whenever you can convince him to stop being a coward.
Just be prepared. Just be prepared.
I swear to you, I promise you, Red, on everything good and holy, I will be. I swear to you, I will be. See, that's my best thing, Red, being prepared. That's why I'm better than everybody, because I'm the most prepared person that there is. I'm not the guy who thinks about next week. I think about next year. I don't think about what's going to happen in the next few days. I think about what's going to happen in the next few months. I think about where everything goes in the grand scheme. You guys play checkers while I play chess. It's not annoying. It's just disappointing because I see you, Red, and you have plenty of ability to do what I do, but yet you surround yourself with yuppie yes men and egotistical, glad-handing friends that sit here and hype up your, well, let's be honest, overrated legacy. And you accept that because it's easy. And it's easy for you to surround yourself with people less than you see. And that's all I'm trying to do is to elevate you to actually be around people like yourself. Where, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Steve's a great color commentator, like Jim Ross quality. But I mean, you're gonna sit there and tell me you're okay with him going and playing cosplay down in Indiana and embarrassing and offending everything we stand for as professional wrestlers? That's okay with you? You think it's cute that he goes to IPW and wrestles? Because I'm sorry, the only way you can say it is with these. And that's acceptable. Guys like me, guys like Jason Hades, guys like, hell, even guys like Marche, you think they're okay with that? Well, actually, Marche will do anything for a buck. He's been on some shit shows from time to time. So, I mean, maybe he would do it. But everyone else would have, I don't know, some moral decorum, some code of ethics, some line where they would say, you know what? Maybe we stop at street trash. Maybe the line for cutting people off in pro wrestling isn't pedophiles. Maybe we need to move it up a little bit. Maybe we need to hold a higher standard. And, you get guys like him and whatever the hell that turtle thing is that goes and wrestles like he's a ninja turtle. Like, it's like I'm supposed to be impressed with him. You got all these kids playing cosplay, running around, acting like they're guys like me who have made a living off of this. And I'm supposed to be okay. And then you sit there, Steve, and wonder why I have a problem with you. Because you don't know how to stay in your lane. You're a great commentator. Why can't you just be that? A great commentator would have stayed behind the desk. A great commentator wouldn't have to worry about getting smashed in the back with a chair. Now, would they? See, I'm the bad guy, but it's only because I got all the answers you don't like to hear.
Okay. I mean, you came here, you ran your mouth, you said what you had to say, and that's great. I'm going to pick C-Red up and I'll make sure he's at night for Tyler. So make no mistake, that's fine. And
I love it.
You've got your rapture and you've got it all figured out. You're talking about next year.
Yes. Well, no, not just next year. Years, Steve.
Yes,
Years.
I understand. And I get what you're saying. I can understand why someone like you would like to shit all over me. And I get it. And that's fine. And you're more than welcome to compare my level of expertise to a pedophile and however you turn that phrase. You're very good at turning phrases.
I do what I can.
And I don't stay in my lane. And everybody and their mother has an opinion on that. But I'm not going anywhere.
Nor would I want you to. Oh, yeah. God, not yet, Steven. Oh, you missed the grand finale? Steven, see, it's like times like this where it's just like, God, you don't get it. You're like, we're not even in the same ballpark. You think I would ever let you miss the grand finale of my grand plan? I am this master villain, right?
You are.
Every master villain has a grand master plan, right?
You are.
Okay, well, if I have this grand master plan and I'm this grand master villain and Steve, you're the guy pulling out my tail more than anybody else, you don't think I'm going to make sure you see what happens at the end? Saying you're going somewhere.
I'll look forward to the end.
You're cute.
I'll look forward to the end because maybe in the end, it's the end of you.
Ooh, let's say that it is. Because I know that's what you want. I mean, deep down inside, let's be honest, Steve, you really want someone to kick the shit out of me pretty bad. It's okay. Yep. I don't even blame you. But let's say you get what you want. Let's say you get everything you want. And I go, gone. Kaiser Soze, gone like smoke. Can I ask a question? Is that all right, teacher, man? What happens to Frontline Pro after I leave?
Maybe
because you think because you think that when I leave, I'm just gonna leave and then stay behind the scenes and write and do. Oh no! I'm gonna Roman Reigns this shit. When this goes and I go, it's bye bye Frontline. It's bye bye everything. Good God, good Lord, bye. Are you sure that's what you want, Steven? Because what you're talking about is 45 positions of employment. 45. I counted yesterday. 45. You're talking about 2 separate rosters in 2025. You're talking about a brand new championship coming to Bakerville. You're talking about the Battle Championship going into its own brand. You're talking about the Intrepid title coming back. We have all these things coming. We have 38 roster spots for wrestlers alone. And you're telling me that you think the best thing would be for all of that to go away forever. But I thought you said I'm the crazy one. I thought I was, see, now you're confusing me. I thought I was supposed to be doing the whole I'm crazy. You're the sane one trying to tell me how I'm not crazy, like how I'm doing wrong. But no, because like now I feel like I'm doing your job for you. And it's kind of annoying because now I'm playing the role of me and having to play the role of you too, because now you're being the psychopath. Because what does that look like? No Frontline Pro. So let's take Frontline Pro out of the equation. Where's Shaq Jordan? Yep. I think a lot of people would be saying Shaq who? Where's Quinn Whittick? 526 days. Don't tell me that the Juggalos are fucking with him if he doesn't come to Frontline Pro. So the Bros, another one, Muggsy, just take the list. I mean, and you did say one thing that I thought was kind of cute. You called it Wrestle League North like it was supposed to insult me. I have never said one time that Chris Logan doesn't know how to train professional wrestlers. I'll even go on record as to say that I think Chris Logan is one of the best ever to train professional wrestlers. Do you want to know why that is?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Because in this world, we have teachers and doers. I'm a doer. He's a teacher. Those who do. Those who don't teach and talk about those who do. I don't have to be Chris Logan talking about how the mountaintop got pulled out of my hand. I've never been the heavyweight champion of the company and had it fold. So, companies don't die when I'm the heavyweight champion. So maybe it's a good thing that Chris Logan isn't a heavyweight champion anymore. Maybe it's a good thing that he just sticks at Wrestle League and wrestles these little punk kids that he can beat up on and terrorize and bully. Because let's be honest, Wrestle League kids versus Chris Logan isn't exactly a challenge. I mean, are you going to really sit there and insult Chris Logan to the fact that you would put any of the Wrestle League kids over on him as a favorite in a bet for a match? Would you really, Steve? So I'm an asshole because I know how to find talent. It just so happens that he trains really great wrestlers. And guess what? Guess who knows how to take those really great wrestlers and make them into diamonds and champions? Because it isn't Chris fucking Logan. It's me. Quinn Whittick, Shaq Jordan, the Bros, Adonis Allen, Kid Lack. You want to talk about who made them better than what they were when they came here? You're going to sit here and tell me that they were better before they got to Frontline? Steve, maybe Wrestle League is Frontline South, because the only way you can make it is if Ben McCoy writes something for you. Because I don't see any other companies jumping off the bandwagon for the Bros. I don't see anybody else hopping on a plane to go get Adonis Allen signed. Von Jaeger, go take another shot, you little drunk German. Makes no sense. Disco Ray, the only kid with a shred of charisma, can't wrestle himself out of a paper bag. And you're going to sit here and tell me that all these guys were better before I saved their asses and brought them to my company. Boy, howdy. Okay, how about this? Why don't you, when the cameras aren't on and people aren't watching, independently ask all those kids who did more for their careers to this point? I think you'd be quite shocked at the result and the answer. I think Chris Logan would be very surprised at the result and the answer. So you can sit here and say Wrestle League North. I'll sit here and say Frontline South. And Frontline South Beta at that.
Wow. It really is all about you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you're getting it now. You're understanding, right? Is it my fault though that I'm as good as I am? Are you mad that I'm just like? No. Is it like I need to know? Is it that I'm cunning? Is it that I'm ruthless? Is it that I'm smarter? Like, let's be honest. When it really boils down to it, I'm just smarter than everybody when it comes to this.
You're a piece of work, creator Ben McCoy.
I know work wasn't what you were going for, but I appreciate your professionalism there, Steve. It's nice to know you still got a little left in you when it comes to me, but don't worry, we'll work that out of you with good time.
I'm sure that you'll try.
Absolutely. Also, hey, C-Red, be careful. Make sure you wear a padded jacket. You don't want to get smashed in the back with a chair either. Things be flying in Frontline. You never know what's going to happen.
Ben, I've been hit with worse before.
Perfect. I'm sure you've been hit by worse by better. So,
and I'm still here.
Sure are.
You know, Ben, I'm gonna tell you a quick story before I let you go.
I love your
stories. Will let you go because you might.
But you never get rid of me, Steven, because I'll always be in your veins.
But you might be the creator at Frontline, but you're just a guy on this show. So here's what I want to tell you. Here's the lesson I'd like to teach you. Here's the lesson I'd like this cosplayer to teach you. And it's something that was taught to me by one of the great educators of my existence in this business. And he said, it's a great business to work in if you could take away the ego and the pride.
It's not a business without ego or pride. Business is business. How do you think the terminology business is business came about? You think it's because people were worrying about other people's feelings? So let me leave you with one.
Your ego and pride has run out of the building, and as great as you think you are, it's going to be your downfall.
Well, Steven, I'll leave you with this before I let you off this phone call. So let me ask you. Yes, absolutely, because I'll free you of me. But let me ask you this one last thing. Do you know what the most important question in the world is?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
There's a thing in life that every man strives for, a question. The answer to this question, Stephen, determines this man's societal status for the rest of his life. It places him on the pecking order of the alphas of men and where he rates on that system. And it's a question that drives all men's success, no matter what business they're in. Would you like to know what the question is, Stephen?
Go ahead.
What's in it for me? And until you start thinking that way, Stephen, you're never going to catch me. Toodles, Red, best to your family and whatever animals you may have.
Okay. Ben seems to forget that I don't play fair. So Night for Tyler, is that the name of it?
Night for Tyler, September 28th.
Think it's about time we even the odds.
You know, he said some things that were interesting. I'm bringing my people. It almost sounds like maybe somebody's got a bit of a controlling interest at Frontline Pro. It almost sounds like someone's mounting a counterattack, doesn't it? I'm bringing my boy Marche. I'm bringing Jason Hades. Red, you're coming. There are opportunities to stop what is happening. If the right people are involved, I believe Frontline could be better than it is with an egomaniacal prick at the helm. He seems to have a great deal of confidence in his successes of late. Let's see if we can throw a few failures his way. Let's see how the creator is when he gets rattled. You're going to say Marche, you called Marche Rocket the dad bod? You talk crap about NWA, Marche's going to hear that at some point. He called Chris Logan a bitch. I'm afraid for the human that calls and then went after his students, saying they weren't anything till they got there. There's so much that Ben McCoy said that is going to come back to paramountly bite him in the ass. That's incredible. And I'm glad it happened here. But there's one thing that he's going to find out, and it's what they mock me with over at JFW. I am going to get my pound of flesh from Ben McCoy. I'm not wearing my glasses, Travis Steve. I'm just being real. It's an eye for an eye. Whether you're a cosplayer, whether you're still a person, you're still a man, you still have desires, you're not going to let a attack go unanswered. Time will tell. Want to thank Billy Wack for being a part of this show tonight. Don't miss the Super Wrestlers. We will talk more about Frontline Pro and Night for Tyler as we get closer to the date. Want to thank our sponsor, Carter Comics. Go to cartercomics.com. Use the promo code The Power Hour. If you use that promo code at Carter Comics, you get 10% off your purchase.
We got sponsors?
Huh?
We got a sponsor?
We got a sponsor, baby. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, FreakNet. Carter Comics. I am reading a graphic comic right now called The $6 Million Man, The Fall of Man. It's available at Carter Comics. You can go to their eBay page. And
Is it good?
Huh?
Is it good?
Anything that has Steve Austin as portrayed by the caricature of Lee Majors is outstanding. But that's a story for another time. Not going to thank Ben McCoy for jumping on because that was a heinous piece of shit. But it happened, and here we are. So thanks to everybody for being part of the Power Hour. Thanks to Russian Blue. Thanks to Rion Skills. Thanks to you, Red. And we got a long ride coming up in a few weeks. I'll look forward to the stories we tell.
Oh, Lord.
There it is. CarterComics.com. Promo code The Power Hour will get you 10% off. And Red, you love comic books.
Of course.
I was thinking about, getting back in and getting some back issues of Captain America to pass the time. So I might visit CarterComics.com after the show is over. So don't forget to use the Power Hour as your promo code, 10%. You get it right off. All right, next week, at this point, we don't have a guest. So who should we get? Anybody sees this show and wants to be a guest next week? Hit me up. Hit up Red. Could be anybody. Maybe we'll bring Bulletproof Butthead Ben back.
No. No.
I'm going to go after Steve Michaels because I want to sit Steve Michaels and Rion down and have a conversation about how that's going to go. So we'll see if we can do something like that. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Have a great night, and don't believe anything Ben McCoy ever says because it's just not true. Good night, folks.